Chapter 1305. Kuan Peng Ferocious Art. Damn it. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed. The might of the blood-colored gleam was terrifying. Even though it wasn't enough to deal with the three-legged golden crow alone, it was still difficult for the three-legged golden crow to deal with it in large numbers. To think that a tattered great formation of annihilation would possess such terrifying might. Taking a deep breath, the three-legged golden crow put on a solemn expression. He temporarily forgot about everything else and focused on dealing with the blood-colored gleam. Pu. The three-legged golden crow pointed out with his finger and a blood-colored gleam exploded. Whoosh. The three-legged golden crow dashed out and swallowed the blood-colored gleam with its mouth wide open. Not bad. Nodding his head in satisfaction, the three-legged golden crow struck out once more to fight against the blood-colored gleam. As a peerless expert of the three-legged golden crow tribe, the three-legged golden crow had a thorough understanding of the great formation of annihilation. He knew that the blood-colored gleam within the great formation of annihilation not only possessed great offensive power, but it could also aid one's cultivation. After all, the energy required to set up the great formation of annihilation was simply too great. And the energy consumed would be converted into blood-colored gleam to deal with the experts trapped in the formation. Bang! At the same time, Ning Yu, who was in the crevice underground, felt the world spinning around him, causing him to vomit bile. Ouch! Falling heavily onto the ground, Ning Yu's eyes turned white, and his mind became more and more dazed. Wake up! At this moment, the shout of the sapling reached Ning Yu's ears. Ning Yu snapped out of his daze when he heard that. He looked around in confusion. At this moment, Ning Yu was in a slightly spacious room surrounded by darkness. Even though it was pitch black, Ning Yu's sharp senses allowed him to detect a peerless expert sitting on a chair not too far away from him. There was no fluctuation of yuan qi from him at all. Voila! Suddenly, several crystals appeared on the surrounding walls, illuminating the originally pitch-black room with incomparable brightness. SSS. The room was bright, but Ning Yu sucked in a cold breath. Not far away, a martial artist with disheveled hair sat on a chair with an indifferent expression. The warrior's arms and legs were pierced by a golden flying sword. The most terrifying thing was that there was also a golden flying sword piercing through the warrior's heart. It's a little off. Ning Yu's perception was extremely strong, and he quickly discovered the problem. Although the golden flying sword had pierced through the warrior's heart, it was still half a finger away from the real heart. In other words, as long as the flying sword deviated by half a finger, this martial artist would definitely die. I can feel it. You can save me. The cultivator on the chair raised his head, looked straight at Ning Yu, and said, "Save me, and I will give you a great opportunity." Ning Yu said nothing. Ning Yu was very clear that the reason why this martial artist did not kill him was definitely because he could be of some help. Otherwise, with this martial artist's current state, he would definitely die. This martial artist's vitality was fading quickly. If he had not devoured and refined Ba Li and the Stone King, he would have fallen apart long ago. Even so, this martial artist should not be able to hold on for long. He had to pull out the red flying sword from his heart. First, let me introduce myself. I am Kuan Peng Daoist. The martial artist on the chair shook his hair vigorously, revealing a slightly weathered face. As long as you can save me, I can swear to the heavens that I will give you a great opportunity. I can even let you directly ascend to Earth Supreme. Kuan Peng Daoist stared straight into Ning Yu's eyes. What are you waiting for with such a rare opportunity? Sho. Kuan Peng Daoist's words seemed to have a great magical power, causing Ning Yu to move slowly. Wake up. When Ning Yu was 4 or 5 steps away from Kuan Peng Daoist, the sapling suddenly shouted. Swish. Ning Yu immediately woke up and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Sound wave technique. Eye technique. The old man had just used the sound wave technique and eye technique, causing Ning Yu to uncontrollably move forward to help the old man pull out the golden flying sword. Kuan Peng Daoist raised his eyebrows when he saw that his eye technique and sound wave technique did not have much of an effect on Ning Yu, revealing a hint of doubt. But very quickly, this trace of doubt disappeared. In exchange, it was a look of ecstasy. I can swear to the heavens that as long as you can help me pull out the golden flying sword, I promise to give you a great opportunity. Kuan Peng Daoist chose to take a step back. You are currently a mid-stage 6th grade human supreme. Once you help me pull out the golden flying sword, I can give you a blessing and let you directly ascend to a 7th grade human supreme. Also, I can help you get rid of the 3-legged golden crow outside to ensure your safety. In the beginning, Kuan Peng Daoist had wanted to devour Ningyu. This was because he had been severely injured during the fight with the 3-legged golden crow, causing his strength to drop by several times. If not for the blood-colored cold light blocking the 3-legged golden crow, the 3-legged golden crow would have immediately charged over and taken his life. Therefore, Kuan Peng Daoist wanted to devour and refine Ningyu before forcing the golden flying sword out of his arm. Only then would he have the ability to fight against the 3-legged golden crow and not be killed so quickly. You used your eye technique and soundwave technique on me just now. I can't believe you. By now, Ningyu had already seen some clues. This Kuan Peng Daoist could not move for a short period of time. He could not even use his giant palm. Otherwise, his injuries would worsen and he would die sooner. I can swear to the heavens. Kuan Peng Daoist said, the heavens oath has a terrifying restriction on all living beings. As long as I swear to the heavens, I will definitely not dare to play any tricks. Ningyu still shook his head and said, don't bother with those empty words. Give me some benefits first, like letting me advance to the late phase 6th grade sovereign realm or even the pinnacle phase 6th grade sovereign realm. Kuan Peng Daoist's face darkened. There was something that could allow a mid-stage 6th grade supreme to advance to the late-stage 6th grade supreme in a short period of time, but it was not in the 3-stone cave. The entire 3-stone cave was only used by a peerless expert to trap Kuan Peng Daoist. The truly good stuff had all been plundered clean, and only a few remained. How about this? I'll teach you a martial technique. Kuan Peng Daoist said. What martial technique? If the level is too low, don't. Ningyu said with a hopeful expression. Kuan Peng ominous skill. Kuan Peng Daoist interrupted Ningyu and slowly uttered 4 words. The so-called Kuan Peng ominous skill was created by a powerful ancient Kuan Peng and was known as one of the top 10 ancient skills. Ningyu did not expect Kuan Peng Daoist to know the Kuan Peng ominous skill. How about it? If you help me pull out the golden flying sword, I'll teach you the Kuan Peng true skill. Chapter 1306. The Sandpiper and the Clam Fight Rock Ominous Art. Ningyu's expression changed. The Kuan Peng ominous art was an extremely domineering martial skill, and its power was extremely strong. As for the exact level of the Kuan Peng ominous art, no one knew because very few people had cultivated the Kuan Peng ominous art. If you successfully cultivate the Kuan Peng ominous art, you can even fight against a pinnacle 9th grade human sovereign. The Kuan Peng Zhenren tempted him and said, as long as you help me pull out the flying sword from my heart, I will teach you the Kuan Peng evil art. You sure have a good plan. Ningyu said, you have to give me some benefits first, or I will never help you pull out the golden flying sword. Ningyu was no fool. From the golden flying sword, he felt a heart-palpitating aura. This aura was exceptionally terrifying. According to Ningyu's guess, the golden flying sword in Kuan Peng Daoist's heart was not inferior to the red demon sword. Rumble. Suddenly, the room shook, and it became more and more intense. Not good. Perfected being Kuan Peng's expression changed drastically as he said hurriedly, relax your mind. I'll teach you the Kuan Peng ferocious art right now. The reason why the room was shaking was because the 3-legged golden crow had broken free and devoured all the blood-red cold light. The 3-legged golden crow's combat prowess increased once again after refining and devouring the blood-colored light. With the increase in strength, the 3-legged golden crow naturally had to deal with venerable Kuan Peng. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? Ningyu knew that Kuan Peng Zhenren was worried, but he remained calm and said, if I'm not mistaken, you have a Kuan Peng bone on you, and the Kuan Peng ominous art you've mastered is on that bone. Whoosh. Kuan Peng Daoist's face instantly darkened. What kind of freak was Ningyu? Or was the 3-legged golden crow outside on the same side as Ningyu? The more venerable Kuan Peng thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. At the same time, his expression changed as he looked at Ningyu. Don't overthink it. There is no relationship between me and the three-legged golden crow. In fact, that three-legged golden crow is still thinking of how to kill me. How could Ningyu not know what Kuan-Peng was thinking? He waved his hand and said, "Hand over the Kuan-Peng bone and swear to the heavens that you cannot attack me no matter what. Otherwise, I will not help you pull out the golden flying sword." "All right, I promise you." Kuan-Peng Daoist had no other choice. Catcher. The void cracked and a palm-sized bone flew out from Kuan-Peng Daoist's chest and landed in front of Ningyu. "Sapling, check if there's anything wrong with the Kuan-Peng bone." Ningyu was not stupid enough to touch the Kuan-Peng bone with his bare hands. He began to contact the sapling and let it inspect the Kuan-Peng bone. "There's a problem. There's an extremely special medicinal liquid on the Kuan-Peng's bones. As long as you come into contact with it, you'll lose a layer of skin even if you don't die," the sapling replied. "Do you have a way to get rid of it?" Ningyu asked. "Throw the Kuan-Peng bone into your storage ring." "I'll try." The sapling did not give a definite answer. It only said that it wanted to give it a try. "No problem." Ningyu controlled the Kuan-Peng bone into his storage ring. Kuan-Peng Daoist saw Ningyu's extremely careful movements and a cold expression appeared in his eyes. However, he concealed this expression very well, and Ningyu didn't notice it. "Can you help me pull out the golden flying sword now?" Kuan-Peng Daoist hid the ferocity on his face and said, "The three-legged golden crow will be here in 3 minutes. If I can't recover by then, we will all die here. What do you want me to do?" Ningyu also knew the severity of the problem. At this time, he could not fight with Kuan-Peng Daoist. He had to help Kuan-Peng Daoist pull out the golden flying sword first. "If I'm not wrong, you should have the war god body. Force a drop of blood essence out and drip it on the golden flying sword. Then, use all the strength in your body to pull it out." Kuan-Peng Daoist's words were filled with excitement. His true body had been fixed here by the golden flying sword for hundreds of years and was also refined by the heaven and earth annihilation formation. All these years, he was lucky that he had a strong will and a strong vitality in his body. Otherwise, he would have died a long time ago. How could he not be excited now that he had a chance to leave? "Sure." Ningyu forced a drop of blood essence out and rushed out at the same time, arriving in front of Kuan-Peng Daoist in the blink of an eye. Drip. The blood essence dripped onto the golden flying sword. Then, Ningyu's right hand quickly grabbed the golden flying sword and tried to pull it out with all the strength in his body. Swish. All of a sudden, an unexpected change occurred. An extremely domineering force burst out of the golden flying sword and sent Ningyu flying. "Can't I do it?" Ningyu frowned. He was not in a hurry to pull the golden flying sword out for a second time. Instead, he was thinking of countermeasures. Time passed quickly and Kuan-Peng Daoist was extremely anxious. The three-legged golden crow was about to attack, which meant that he had less and less time. Again, stomping on the ground, Ningyu charged out. A golden light appeared on his right hand as Ningyu grabbed the golden flying sword and pulled it out forcefully. Green veins popped on his arm. Dark golden blood flowed rapidly from Ningyu's heart and gathered on his right arm. "Come out." With a roar, Ningyu grabbed the golden flying sword and pulled it out. Swoosh. Fresh blood splattered in the void. Crack. At the same time, the three-legged golden crow broke through the defenses set up by Kuan-Peng Daoist and charged in. Without a word, Ningyu retreated with the golden flying sword. The three-legged golden crow was a ruthless one. There was no hope of Ningyu winning against it and only death awaited him. "Three-legged golden crow, how dare you behave so atrociously here? Die." After the golden flying sword left his heart, Kuan-Peng Daoist's aura surged to an extremely terrifying level. At that moment, Kuan-Peng Daoist's aura far surpassed that of the three-legged golden crow. A gigantic palm appeared and slapped towards the three-legged golden crow. The power of that palm was immense. If the three-legged golden crow was unlucky enough to be struck, it would be crippled even if it did not die. "Me. You can't even leave your seat. How are you going to fight me?" The three-legged golden crow was not afraid at all. With a cold harumph, It spat out a golden flame from its mouth. Kai! The golden flame shone brightly and collided with the gigantic palm. The terrifying shockwave did not appear when the two collided and dissipated quickly. Three-legged golden crow, perhaps we can make a deal. After that move, Kuan-Peng Daoist did not attack again. Instead, he said, if we continue to fight like this, there will definitely be no way to determine the victor. In fact, we might even be the fisherman who benefits from the fight. As he spoke, Kuan-Peng Daoist's gaze shifted and he glanced at Ningyu. Kuan-Peng Daoist's intention was self-evident. He wanted to use the three-legged golden crow to kill Ningyu. After all, he had sworn a heavenly Dao oath not to attack Ningyu. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 1307. Persuasion Killing with a Borrowed Knife. The three-legged golden crow glanced at the golden flying sword in Ningyu's hand and looked at Kuan-Peng Perfected Being's heart. Hehe, if I'm not wrong, he was the one who pulled out the golden flying sword for you. Not only did you not want to protect him, you want me to kill him. TSK, looks like you're not a good person either. Those who achieve great things don't care about trifles. Kuan-Peng Perfected Being was not embarrassed at all. It's easy to enter the array of annihilation but difficult to leave. Without my help, you won't be able to leave. You're saying that I can't leave the array of annihilation? The three-legged golden crow smirked. The array of annihilation is already broken. I can come and go as I please. Don't get cocky. Even I can't leave, let alone you, Kuan-Peng Perfected Being said. Tell me, what are you willing to pay? The three-legged golden crow looked at Kuan-Peng Perfected Being with interest. If you can kill him, I'm willing to tell you how to leave the array of annihilation, Kuan-Peng Perfected Being said. I repeat, whether I want to leave the array of annihilation or not depends on whether I want to. The three-legged golden crow looked unfriendly. If you can't show me enough sincerity, I don't mind killing you first. Kuan-Peng Ominous Skill. Kuan-Peng Perfected Being seemed to have made a big decision. He gritted his teeth. He has a Kuan-Peng bone. If you can kill him, the Kuan-Peng bone will belong to you. What? The three-legged golden crow finally lost his cool after hearing Kuan-Peng Perfected Being's words. He also wanted to learn the Kuan-Peng Ominous Skill. Also, as a three-legged golden crow, he would be able to learn the Kuan-Peng Ominous Skill with half the effort. I'll believe you this once. The three-legged golden crow stomped on the ground and disappeared. Crack! In the next moment, the space in front of Ningyu split open. The three-legged golden crow's giant claws reached for his neck. The three-legged golden crow was ruthless and didn't hold back at all. A terrifying wave of essence chi emerged from the three-legged golden crow's claws. Shio! At this critical moment, a branch shot out from the storage ring and clashed head-on with the three-legged golden crow's claw. Catcher! Catcher! A crisp sound rang out as the three-legged golden crow rapidly retreated with a dark expression. One of the three-legged golden crow's claws was dangling, obviously broken. As for Ningyu's side, a small branch fell to the ground, its vitality quickly disappearing. World Tree! Kuan-Peng's eyes were very sharp. Seeing a small broken branch on the ground, his pupils shrank and he exclaimed, "It's the World Tree." At this moment, Kuan-Peng Daoist's breathing quickened. If he had the World Tree, he could even quickly recover to his peak state after escaping. Good, very good. You are the first person to injure me since I came out of seclusion. The three-legged golden crow stared fixedly at Ningyu with a gloomy gaze and said, "Today, I'll let you know that the three-legged golden crows are not to be disrespected." Wait. Ningyu took a step forward and said coldly, "Kuan-Peng Daoist already knew that I have the World Tree on me. He and I set you up. Don't you want to kill Kuan-Peng Daoist first? After I kill you, I can still kill Kuan-Peng Daoist." The three-legged golden crow yelled. That might not be the case. Ningyu took a step forward and said loudly, "Kuan-Peng Daoist is extremely cunning. He used my strength to force the flying sword out of his heart. If I'm not wrong, he's trying to force the other 4 flying swords out now. Kuan-Peng Daoist can fight you just by forcing one flying sword out. From this, it can be seen that once he forces the other 4 flying swords out, You won't have a good time. Furthermore, it won't be that easy for you to kill me. In order for me to hold you back, Kuan Peng Daoist has already taught me the real Kuan Peng Daoist technique. The three-legged golden crow's expression was gloomy as he struggled internally. He wanted to attack Ningyu and obtain the World Tree and Kuan Peng Daoist technique, but he also wanted to kill Kuan Peng Daoist first. Alright, I'll believe you this once. The three-legged golden crow was a little wary of Ningyu. After all, Ningyu had made him suffer quite a bit. In addition, the fact that Ningyu was able to survive until now after being trapped in the annihilation array really surprised him. The three-legged golden crow turned around and charged at Kuan Peng Daoist. Sapling, hurry up and activate the stone essence. We must leave this place as soon as possible. Seeing the three-legged golden crow charging at Kuan Peng Daoist, Ningyu's nervous heart eased a little. The battle between the three-legged golden crow and Kuan Peng Daoist would not end so quickly. This time difference was the only chance for Ningyu and the sapling to leave this place. They could not miss it. I'm thinking of a way. Don't rush me. In order to block the powerful attack of the three-legged golden crow for Ningyu, the sapling broke a small branch, causing its vitality to be greatly damaged. Boom. In the not-too-big room, Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow were fighting while Ningyu was dodging left and right. There were a few times when Ningyu was almost hit by the powerful aftershocks. The three-legged golden crow and Kuan Peng Daoist both had the powerful combat power of a high-level Earth Supreme. If it were someone else, they would have died long ago. There was no way they could have lasted until now. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. Ningyu dodged left and right in the narrow room and was surrounded by danger. The battle between Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow was getting more and more intense. Kuan Peng Daoist might still have 4 golden flying swords, but his strength was no weaker than the three-legged golden crow. What the hell is this golden flying sword? It can stop Kuan Peng Daoist. As Ningyu dodged, he split his perception to study the golden flying sword that he had taken from Kuan Peng Daoist. Ningyu, let me devour the golden flying sword. I can upgrade the Red Fiend sword. Suddenly, the Red Fiend's voice entered Ningyu's ears. Ningyu was stunned, and he said, "Are you sure?" For a long time, the Red Fiend had been hiding in the deepest part of the Red Fiend sword in order to cultivate and increase his strength. Only now did the Red Fiend contact Ningyu after seeing the golden flying sword. "I'm sure. The Red Fiend sword is a devouring flying sword. It can devour everything." The Red Fiend explained, "That golden flying sword is of an extremely high grade. It's at least a supreme grade emperor. If the Red Fiend sword can devour it, its power will increase by a level. How long will it take? Do I need to prepare anything?" Ningyu asked with a frown. It was very dangerous now. Ningyu didn't want anything to happen to the Red Fiend. Very soon. The soul imprint in the flying sword is already very weak. It could dissipate at any time. The Red Fiend said, "Give me a few minutes and I'll be able to refine it." "No problem, but you have to be careful. Once there's danger, you have to stop immediately," Ningyu said in a deep voice. As he spoke, Ningyu threw the golden flying sword to the Red Fiend. Chapter 1308. Attack. Boom. Although Kuan Peng perfected being could not leave his chair, he could still unleash a shocking amount of combat power. The three-legged golden crow did not gain any advantage. On the contrary, the three-legged golden crow was gradually losing. "Kuan Peng perfected being, you've completely infuriated me." The three-legged golden crow's expression darkened after destroying the giant palm that Kuan Peng perfected being had conjured. "I'll let you know what cruelty is." As he spoke, the three-legged golden crow opened his mouth and spat out a golden flame. The golden flame that the three-legged golden crow spat out was so dazzling that Kuan Peng perfected being could not look at it directly. "Now's the time." The three-legged golden crow seized the rare opportunity and flapped his wings quickly, fanning the golden flame toward Kuan Peng perfected being. Kai. The scorching flames roasted the space until it cracked. "You're still too young to kill me." Kuan Peng perfected being bellowed and raised his hands abruptly. His sinister eyes stared straight at the three-legged golden crow as his expression turned extremely ferocious. Go. As Kuan Peng perfected being said that, the golden flying sword in his arm suddenly flew out and charged at the three-legged golden crow at an extremely shocking speed. Oh no! The three-legged golden crow was not stupid. He naturally knew how powerful the golden flying sword was. The three-legged golden crow immediately turned its head around and started to dodge. The golden flying sword could even stop Kuan Peng perfected being. One could imagine how terrifying its power was. Swoosh! However, it was clearly too late for the three-legged golden crow to dodge. The golden flame that he spat out was sliced in half by the flying sword. Although the golden flame blocked one of the flying swords, the other broke free and instantly arrived in front of the three-legged golden crow. Damn it! The three-legged golden crow cursed inwardly and had to use his sharp claws to grab the golden flying sword again. Bang! This time, the three-legged golden crow was fully prepared. He did not hesitate to gather all the energy in his body into his claws so that he could grab the golden flying sword. Even though the three-legged golden crow was fully prepared, the outcome was not as expected. The golden flying sword sliced through the three-legged golden crow's claws. It turned its head and charged at Ning Yu. F***ck. The sudden change caused Ning Yu to be dumbfounded, and he had a feeling that he was going to die. Could it be that because he had obtained the first golden flying sword, the other flying swords wanted to return to their ancestry, so they flew towards him? No matter what, Ning Yu would definitely not sit and wait for death. He hurriedly communicated with the Red Fiend, wanting him to activate the Red Fiend sword to deal with the golden flying sword. Relax your mind. That golden flying sword was lured here by me. I want to refine it along with him. The Red Devil's voice sounded in Ning Yu's mind. Ning Yu was even more dumbfounded. In the end, it was the Red Fiend who had seduced the golden flying sword. Since the Red Fiend had said so, Ning Yu opened up his mind and allowed the golden flying sword to fly towards him. He lost his mind. To Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow, Ning Yu's action was no different from losing his mind. That was a golden flying sword that could injure the three-legged golden crow. You, a mere 6th grade human supreme, did not dodge at all? What else could it be if he had not lost his mind? Good for you. Kuan Peng Daoist raised his eyebrows. He was in a surprisingly good mood. In fact, with Kuan Peng Daoist's strength, he could definitely injure or even kill the three-legged golden crow. However, he knew that he could not make a move now. He had to endure. The peerless powerhouse who had set up the annihilation of heaven and earth formation had yet to appear, so he could not expose his strength too early. The Kuan Peng bone on Ning Yu was his trump card. He had to get it no matter what. Although I've made a heavenly oath not to attack you, this flying sword has nothing to do with me if it attacks you after passing through the three-legged golden crow's claws. Although Kuan Peng Daoist was powerful, he did not want to be tainted by the heavenly oath. Otherwise, he would have killed Ning Yu long ago and taken back the Kuan Peng bone. Why would he wait until now? I want to see if the branch of the world tree will appear again. The three-legged golden crow stared at Ning Yu, wanting to see if the branch of the world tree would appear again. Swoosh! When the golden flying sword was a finger's length away from Ning Yu's forehead, it stopped and floated in the air. Ning Yu was extremely nervous. He was afraid that the golden flying sword would suddenly appear and stab him in the forehead. Swish! At that moment, the storage ring shone brightly. The golden flying sword in front of Ning Yu's forehead changed direction again and flew straight into the storage ring. Open! Ning Yu was overjoyed and quickly opened the storage ring. The golden flying sword disappeared into the storage ring under the shocked gazes of Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow. How is that possible? This change was clearly out of Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow's expectations. Both Kuan Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow knew how terrifying the golden flying sword was. Could it be? Did Ning Yu have a Dharma treasure that could restrain the golden flying sword? Kuan Peng Daoist's face burned with excitement. The golden flying sword was the main Dharma treasure that was used to set up the annihilation formation. If Ning Yu had something that could restrain it, he could even face that powerful being head-on if he snatched it away. No wonder he was able to pull out the golden flying sword in my heart. Kuan Peng Daoist murmured. Kuan Peng Daoist had been refining the flying sword in his heart for many years. Although he had expended all of its sharpness, it was impossible to pull it out without some skills. It would be difficult to succeed if he relied solely on Ning Yu's war god body. Kuan Peng Daoist was too excited earlier and did not think in that direction. Now that he saw Ning Yu controlling the golden flying sword again, his mind became active. Ning Yu, think of a way to get the other 3 golden flying swords from Kuan Peng Daoist. As long as I can refine them, the Red Demon Sword will be able to unleash shocking combat power in a short period of time. At that moment, the Red Demon's voice was transmitted into Ning Yu's mind. Ning Yu revealed a strange expression when he heard that. To be honest, it was not realistic for him to snatch the golden flying sword from Kuan Peng Daoist. If Kuan Peng Daoist was willing, the 3-legged golden crow would not and would definitely interfere. That was because once Kuan Peng Daoist's remaining 3 flying swords were pulled out, his combat power would increase by several times. At that time, how could the 3-legged golden crow fight against Kuan Peng Daoist? However, Ning Yu was the weakest here. He thought about it and turned to look at Kuan Peng Daoist, sending a voice transmission. Can you force the 3 flying swords out of your body and hand them to me? What? Kuan Peng Daoist's eyes widened as he looked at Ning Yu in disbelief. On the surface, Kuan Peng Daoist looked shocked, but he was actually extremely excited. The fact that Ning Yu could say such a thing meant that he definitely had a Dharma treasure that could restrain the golden flying sword. Kill Ning Yu? Join forces with Ning Yu? For a moment, Kuan Peng Daoist was in a dilemma. If he wanted to kill Ning Yu, he would have to pay a terrible price. Furthermore, he could not do it himself. Chapter 1309. Black-robed cultivator. What should I do? Perfected being Kuan Peng's expression was grim as he struggled internally. To perfected being Kuan Peng, his next decision might determine whether he could successfully escape. After all, the expert who set up the Annihilation Formation was extremely powerful. Let's work together. Before long, perfected being Kuan Peng made his decision. He would work together with Ning Yu. It was too risky to kill Ning Yu. If Ning Yu's Dharma treasure contained a powerful soul imprint and he could not control it within a short period of time, wouldn't he be doomed? Therefore, working together with Ning Yu was the best decision. I can't force out the other 3 flying swords by myself. I need your help. Perfected being Kuan Peng began to communicate with Ning Yu, hoping to reach an agreement with Ning Yu. Perfected being Kuan Peng was wary of Ning Yu as well. Of course, if he had not sworn a heavenly Tao oath, he would definitely not be wary of Ning Yu. How can I help? Ning Yu knew that perfected being Kuan Peng was tempted and asked calmly. Work together. Just like the first time, pull out the flying swords. Perfected being Kuan Peng sent a voice transmission. No problem. As he spoke, Ning Yu moved towards perfected being Kuan Peng. Stop. The 3-legged golden crow was not stupid. Although Ning Yu and perfected being Kuan Peng were talking through voice transmissions, he could tell from the changes in their expressions that something was amiss. Ning Yu wanted to help perfected being Kuan Peng force out the flying swords on his body. The 3-legged golden crow would not let that happen no matter what. Rumble. Boom. Suddenly, the room shook once more and it was getting more intense. Oh no. He's coming. Perfected being Kuan Peng had a horrified expression as he said hurriedly, Hurry, come over and help me pull out the flying swords on my body. At that point, perfected being Kuan Peng could not be bothered with voice transmissions anymore as his words landed in the 3-legged golden crow's ears. Who is it? The 3-legged golden crow asked in shock. The shaking of the room not only shocked Kuan Peng Daoist, but also caused the 3-legged golden crow's expression to change drastically. The 3-legged golden crows had extremely powerful senses. At that moment, the 3-legged golden crow sensed a terrifying existence that was about to tear through the void and appear. This change made the 3-legged golden crow very uneasy. Hey! A 3-legged golden crow actually came in. Catcher! The void split open, and a figure dressed in black landed in the room. Hiss! Ning Yu and the others sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw the sudden appearance of the black-clothed cultivator. Strong. He was simply too strong. According to Ningyu's speculation, the black-clothed martial artist's strength was even stronger than the combined forces of Kuan-Peng Daoist and the three-legged golden crow. "Who are you?" The three-legged golden crow said coldly, feeling very upset at the black-clad cultivator's scrutinizing gaze. "Who am I? Hihi, you dare to ask me who I am after breaking into the heaven-slaughtering and earth-shattering formation that I've set up?" The black-clothed cultivator pointed at his nose and said with a calm smile, "My clone happens to lack a mount. Come, be my mount." "You want me to be your mount? How presumptuous." The three-legged golden crow was infuriated. It immediately flapped its wings and charged at the black-clothed cultivator. Bang! The black-clothed cultivator pointed his right hand into the air, firing an icy glow that collided with the three-legged golden crow. The three-legged golden crow was sent flying like a kite with a broken string, slamming heavily into the wall. Poochie! The three-legged golden crow spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Its face turned extremely pale. "I'll give you one last chance, be my mount. Otherwise, I'll roast you alive," the black-clothed cultivator said calmly, but his tone was firm. "Catcher!" The three-legged golden crow clenched his teeth. He was a peerless genius of the three-legged golden crow tribe, yet he had ended up like this. He was first injured by Kuan-Peng Taoist master, and now he was being suppressed by the black-clothed cultivator. If the three-legged golden crow tribe were to learn about this, he would most likely be utterly humiliated. "May I ask who Senior is?" the three-legged golden crow asked with glittering eyes. "Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm quite close to the old golden crow. I'm only asking you to be my mount for a few days. I won't hurt you," the black-clothed cultivator waved his hand and said. The three-legged golden crow was astounded. One must know that the king of the three-legged golden crow clan was a genuine heavenly sovereign. If the black-clothed cultivator knew the ruler of the three-legged golden crow tribe, didn't that mean he was a heaven supreme too? The three-legged golden crow clenched his teeth in fear. "I'm willing to be Senior's mount, but I hope Senior won't seal me away." "Why would I seal you away? Go away, I have something to discuss with Kuan-Peng Taoist master." The black-clothed cultivator was left speechless. He ignored the three-legged golden crow and glanced at Kuan-Peng Taoist master. Whoosh! When the black-clothed cultivator looked at Kuan-Peng Taoist master, Kuan-Peng Taoist also looked at him. Their gazes collided and sparks flew everywhere. Puff! Kuan-Peng Taoist master was defeated and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Kuan-Peng Taoist master, you're still the same after so many years." The black-clothed cultivator said, "Hand over the Kuan-Peng bone and I can spare your life and let you stay here." The Kuan-Peng bone was taken away by someone 10 years ago. "It's not with me," Kuan-Peng Taoist master said coldly. "It seems that you've forgotten how powerful I am after not fighting for so many years." The black-clothed cultivator took a deep breath and stretched out his right hand. It gradually enlarged and grabbed at the Kuan-Peng array formation. Boom! Kuan-Peng Taoist also stretched out his palm and touched the black-clothed cultivator's palm. Bang! The two collided and Kuan-Peng Taoist master took a few steps back. On the other hand, the black-clothed cultivator stood on the spot and did not move. "You can block my attack and not fall to the ground." The black-clothed cultivator was surprised. The palm strike that he released earlier on was extremely powerful. Given Kuan-Peng Taoist master's current state, something was wrong. Suddenly, the black-clothed cultivator's pupils constricted and his gaze shifted to where Kuan-Peng Taoist master's heart was. The black-clothed cultivator clearly remembered that he had thrown out 5 golden flying swords back then, and one of them was stabbed into Kuan-Peng Taoist master's heart. The other flying swords might have been forced out by Kuan-Peng Taoist master. However, there was no way he could force out the golden flying sword at his heart. No. The black-clothed cultivator's perception was extremely powerful and he discovered the problem before long. He sensed an extremely familiar aura from Ningyu. The golden flying sword. The golden flying sword must be with Ningyu. The black-clothed cultivator's gaze was cold as he glared at Ningyu. "You were the one who helped Kuan-Peng Taoist master force the flying sword out?" When the black-clothed cultivator looked at Ningyu, Ningyu knew that he was doomed. The black-clothed cultivator was even stronger than Kuan Peng Taoist master. It was extremely dangerous to be targeted by him. It's all thanks to Kuan Peng Taoist master. It has nothing to do with me. Ning Yu hurriedly distanced himself from the black-clothed cultivator. At this moment, he could not go against him. Foo. The black-robed cultivator stared at Ning Yu with interest. His lips curled up in a smile as he said, "Stop hiding it. I can feel an aura from you. It is an extremely familiar aura." Chapter 13:10. Shocking picture hand over what? I have no idea what you mean. Ning Yu's heart violently trembled, but he maintained his composure on the surface. I'm only a 6th grade middle phase human sovereign, while you're an earth sovereign. How could I possibly have anything that you're interested in? You won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. The black-clothed martial artist moved, approaching Ning Yu step by step. As the black-clothed cultivator advanced, he released some of his aura and pressed it down on Ning Yu. Although the black-robed cultivator was only a clone, his strength had reached the Earth Supreme Realm, making him extremely powerful. With Ning Yu's strength as a 6th grade intermediate human supreme, he was naturally unable to withstand the pressure of his aura. Ka. A crisp sound came from his knees. Ning Yu tried hard not to kneel down. Whoosh. The black-clothed cultivator flicked his wrist and a golden flying sword appeared in his hand. Waving the golden flying sword in his hand, the black-clothed cultivator said, "I don't mind telling you that my flying sword is called the Golden Demon Sword." Golden Demon Sword? Ning Yu was puzzled. His flying sword was called the Red Demon Sword, while the black-robed warrior's golden flying sword was called the Golden Demon Sword. Could there be some connection between the two? Hand over the flying sword on you, or I'll send you to hell. The black-clothed martial artist waved the flying sword and pointed it at Ning Yu. So you wanted the Red Demon Sword, not the sapling. Ning Yu secretly heaved a sigh of relief. If the black-clothed martial artist wanted the sapling, he had no other way. Now that the black-clothed cultivator wanted to obtain the Red Demon Sword, Ning Yu instantly had an idea. Red Fiend, how much combat power can the Red Fiend sword unleash now? Ning Yu began to contact the Red Fiend, wanting to know how much combat power the Red Fiend sword could unleash. I'm not a match for that black-clothed cultivator. Even escaping is a little difficult. Red Fiend said, if we can devour the remaining golden flying swords, escaping won't be a problem. How much time do you need? I might be able to help you. Ning Yu rolled his eyes and asked. Instant. The Red Fiend gave an affirmative answer. Senior, the Red Demon Sword is indeed with me. Ning Yu organized his thoughts and said, I have a request. Right now, the Red Demon Sword is at a critical stage of its breakthrough. Could you force out a few flying swords from the Kuanpeng Zhenren for it to devour? Sure. The black-clothed martial artist said without hesitation. Then, the black-clothed martial artist quickly waved the golden flying sword in his hand. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As the black-clad cultivator waved the golden flying sword in his hand, the 3 flying swords on the Kuan Peng sage trembled continuously. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Soon, the 3 flying swords left Kuan Peng Daoist and charged towards Ning Yu at a terrifying speed. Shoo. Just as the 3 flying swords arrived in front of Ning Yu, the Red Devil controlled the Red Devil sword to fly out and meet the 3 golden flying swords. Come here. All of a sudden, something strange happened. The black-clothed martial artist's figure flashed and he quickly charged towards the Red Devil sword. He opened his hand and wanted to snatch the Red Devil sword. Kuan Peng Sage, if you don't make your move now, when will you? At the critical moment, Ning Yu shouted. Kuan Peng ominous technique. Kuan Peng Sage knew the severity of the problem. He stomped on the ground and waved his hand repeatedly. In an instant, the weather changed and gusts of chilly wind blew. A huge wing tore through the void and appeared, colliding with the black-clothed martial artist's palm. Crack. When the two collided, the black-clothed martial artist's hand broke and dissipated between heaven and earth. Kuan Peng Sage's wing did not fare much better. It swayed in the air for a while and dissipated as well. With Kuan Peng Sage's interference, the 3 flying swords were all devoured by the Red Devil sword. Boom. Just as the Red Devil Sword had said, if it could devour the remaining 3 flying swords, the Red Devil Sword's power would increase exponentially. An extremely terrifying aura emanated from the Red Devil Sword, intimidating one's mind. Killing intent. The black-clothed martial artist hurriedly retreated with a gloomy expression. The Red Devil Sword was similar to the Golden Devil Sword. They had both killed several peerless experts, so the killing intent on them was extremely terrifying. The black-clothed martial artist had not come with his true body, so he was wary of the killing intent. Three-legged golden crow, go and snatch that red flying sword. Just because he was wary of the Red Devil Sword did not mean that the black-clothed martial artist was helpless. He berated the three-legged golden crow, if you can help me snatch the red flying sword, I can let you go now. See, can you change the condition? The three-legged golden crow could naturally sense the killing intent on the Red Devil Sword. He even stuttered when he spoke. Scram. The black-clothed martial artist did not care about the three-legged golden crow's life. He kicked the three-legged golden crow far away. Kuan Peng Sage, if you want to live, do as I say. Seeing that the three-legged golden crow was about to reach him, Ningyu said coldly, stop the three-legged golden crow, or even kill it. Why should I listen to you? Kuan Peng Sage said. If you want to live, do as I say. Ningyu said in a deep voice, the Red Devil Sword can only emit killing intent. It's not very powerful. Once the black-clothed martial artist sees through it, we'll all die. Swoosh. Kuan Peng Sage was not a pedantic person. Since Ningyu had already made it so clear, it did not make sense for him to be afraid. Right now, he and Ningyu were like grasshoppers tied to the same rope, people in the same boat. They were bound together for good or ill. Once Ningyu was killed, he would be next. Therefore, he had to help Ningyu. Kuan Peng murderous technique. With a low roar, Kuan Peng Sage stomped his right foot on the ground. Instantly, the ground shook, and a huge crack appeared, charging straight at the three-legged golden crow. Oh no! Kuan Peng Sage was already more powerful than the three-legged golden crow. Now that he had forced out the 3 flying swords, his strength had increased greatly. The three-legged golden crow had no chance of winning against Kuan Peng Sage in his current state. Senior, save me. The three-legged golden crow shouted and turned back to ask for help. You go get the flying swords. I'll deal with Kuan Peng Sage. The black-robed cultivator took a step forward and stomped heavily on the crack, forcefully stopping it from moving forward. No problem. The three-legged golden crow heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the black-clothed martial artist stop Kuan Peng Sage. Ever since the black-clothed martial artist appeared, he had become the second strongest person in the room. He could only bully Ningyu now. Three-legged golden crow. Ningyu held the Red Devil Sword in his hand, and dark golden blood flowed through his body. He stood on the spot like a god of war and berated, there are thousands of experts who have died in the hands of the Red Devil Sword. Come if you're not afraid of death. Just as he held the Red Devil Sword, shocking scenes appeared in Ningyu's mind. A white-clothed man holding the Red Devil Sword was hovering above a city, fighting enemies from all directions. Under the setting sun, the white-clothed man looked so miserable. In the city, countless humans looked at the white-clothed man with hope. He was their hope of survival. Catcher. Suddenly, an arrow tore through the void and pierced straight at the white-clothed man's glabella. Boom. At this moment, Ningyu suddenly woke up. Chapter 13:11. The Great Escape / At that moment, Ningyu seemed to be possessed by the god of war as he slashed down with the red fiend sword. TSK, a mere 6th grade human supreme wants to fight me? With a weird laugh, the three-legged golden crow suddenly changed its direction and grabbed Ningyu's neck. The three-legged golden crow did not want to face the terrifying killing intent from the red fiend sword head-on. The three-legged golden crow's plan was simple: capture Ningyu and force Ningyu to hand over the red fiend sword. That was the only way to solve the problem. Cut the crap. Ningyu's eyes flashed coldly as he disappeared like a ghost. Oh no. As soon as Ningyu disappeared, the three-legged golden crow's expression changed drastically as it tried to dodge. Crack. However, it was too late for the three-legged golden crow to dodge at such a close distance. A crisp sound was heard. The red fiend sword slashed down on the three-legged golden crow's claw, chopping off one of its claws. Ah! The three-legged golden crow let out a hysterical scream. You! The three-legged golden crow stared at Ningyu with fear written all over his face. The three-legged golden crow finally reacted. It was not Ningyu who was fighting him, but the terrifying intent within the red fiend sword. That intent was extremely terrifying. It was probably left behind by the first owner of the red fiend sword. Trash. The black-robed cultivator forced Kuan Peng perfected back and rushed over. Fight. Ningyu's eyes darkened. With the red fiend sword in hand, he fought the black-robed cultivator without flinching. What? The three-legged golden crow's expression changed drastically when he saw that Ningyu could fight the black-robed cultivator. If even the black-clothed cultivator was defeated, then he would really die here today. Ningyu, don't get caught up in the fight. I'll break the annihilation formation. Just then, the sapling's voice reached Ningyu's ears. Ningyu was slightly disappointed. Ningyu had originally wanted to observe the battle between the two peerless experts. However, since the sapling already had a way to break the heaven-slaughtering earth-exterminating formation, Ningyu had no choice but to give up. Rumble. After forcefully slashing out with his sword, Ningyu took several steps back. An extremely terrifying pillar of light soared into the sky from Ningyu's storage ring. Hualala. The beam of light was as thick as a person's waist. It was so powerful that it blasted a hole in the heaven-slaughtering and earth-exterminating great array. Go. Ningyu did not stop. He used a secret technique to escape, raising his speed to the limit. Whoosh. Behind Ningyu, Kuan Peng Daoist did not say anything. He turned into an afterimage and followed closely behind Ningyu. Seeing Kuan Peng Daoist and Ningyu disappear, the three-legged golden crow looked terrified. It did not know whether to leave or stay. Wait for me outside the three-stone cave. I'll be out in a bit. The black-robed cultivator kicked the three-legged golden crow's butt and sent it out of the three-stone cave. It can actually activate the will left behind by its previous owner. As expected of the red demon sword. The black-robed cultivator waved his hands repeatedly and then his entire body merged into the void. Crack, crack, crack. At this moment, the winds and clouds changed. The entire three-stone cave began to shake as if it was about to collapse. Whoosh. Before long, the three-stone cave really began to collapse. Even the heaven-slaughtering earth-exterminating formation in the three-stone cave was quickly disintegrating. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless blood-colored beams of light rushed out from the broken heaven-slaughtering earth-exterminating formation and entered the black-robed cultivator's body. These blood-colored beams of light contained terrifying energy, and each one was extremely precious. With so many blood-colored beams of light entering his stomach, the black-robed cultivator's body gradually became corporeal. Originally, the black-robed cultivator was only a clone and could only display limited combat power. Now that he had devoured so many blood-colored beams of light, the black-robed cultivator's combat power had increased by several times. He was very confident that if he met Kuan Peng again, he could finish him off in a few moves. Swish. The black-robed cultivator did not linger in the three-stone cave for long. He leaped onto the three-legged golden crow's back and said in a deep voice, "Bring me to Kuan Peng and the rest." I don't know where they are. The three-legged golden crow panicked and said hurriedly, "Don't worry, I'll tell you where to go." The black-robed cultivator said with an indifferent expression. All right. Since the black-robed cultivator was willing to show the way, the three-legged golden crow could only flap its huge wings and search within Three-Stone Mountain. Sure. As the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed cultivator gave chase, Ningyu and Kuan Peng Perfected had already left Three-Stone Mountain. As for the Dark Emperor and Zhon Ba, Ningyu did not let them follow. After all, the black-robed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow's target was him, not them. Ningyu told the Dark Emperor and Zhon Ba to think of a way to head to the Qianye Empire. He would appear there. The Dark Emperor and Zhon Ba were not hotheads. They knew that they could not help Ningyu much even if they followed by Ningyu's side. Therefore, after bidding farewell, they immediately headed for the Qianye Empire. Where are we going now? Along the way, Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Perfected fled continuously, pushing their speed to the limit. Originally, they thought that they could shake off the black-robed cultivator. Who would have thought that the moment they let down their guard, the black-robed cultivator would chase after them with the three-legged golden crow? Damn it! I have to think of a way to get rid of that three-legged golden crow, Kuan Peng Perfected said fiercely, extremely furious. The three-legged golden crow race had always been known for their speed. As long as there was a three-legged golden crow, the black-robed cultivator could keep up with them. What strength can you unleash? Ning Yu said in a deep voice, wanting to probe Kuan Peng Perfected's strength. What are you trying to do? Kuan Peng Perfected looked at Ning Yu warily and said in a deep voice, we're in the same boat now. Are you going to kill each other? You're overthinking it. I want to know your strength and be prepared to kill the three-legged golden crow. Ning Yu said calmly, let me put it this way. The black-robed cultivator can unleash the strength of a Grade 4 Earth Supreme, I can unleash the strength of a pinnacle Grade 3 Earth Supreme, and the three-legged golden crow can only unleash the strength of an initial Grade 3 Earth Supreme. Kuan Peng Perfected explained. After all, he was on the same side as Ning Yu, so he had to tell Ning Yu this useful information. No, they're too strong. There's no way we can kill the three-legged golden crow. Ning Yu shook his head and said, what we need to do now is to leave this place as soon as possible, or find a safe place to hide. I know of a place. Kuan Peng Perfected's face was gloomy and he said, it's extremely dangerous there. There are all kinds of powerful demonic beasts, and even advanced Earth Supreme. Where is it? Ning Yu asked. The empty secret realm. Kuan Peng Perfected said. The empty secret realm? Ning Yu was puzzled because he had never heard of such a place. The empty secret realm is extremely well hidden. Only those above the Earth Supreme level know of it. Kuan Peng Perfected explained, with our speed, we'll definitely be caught by the black-robed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow. Why don't we enter the empty secret realm? Chapter 1312. Chapter 1312, Empty Secret Realm. According to Kuan Peng Enlightened, Ning Yu knew that Empty Secret Realm was extremely dangerous. Although Kuan Peng Enlightened had sworn not to hurt him, he would not have a good ending if he was targeted by demonic beasts in the Empty Secret Realm. Whoosh! While Ning Yu was thinking, the black-robed martial artist and the three-legged golden crow tore through the void and caught up again. Damn it, let's go to Empty Secret Realm. Ning Yu gritted his teeth and said fiercely, Empty Secret Realm is 20,000 miles away from here. We need to hurry, Kuan Peng Enlightened said and tore through the void, even burning his blood essence to increase his speed. Damn! Ning Yu had the urge to curse. The Emptiness Mystery Realm was actually 20,000 miles away from here. One should know that anything could happen on this journey. Let's go. Although he was angry, Ning Yu did not dare to be careless. He wrapped Yuan Qi around his ankles and disappeared in an instant. Buzz! Not long after Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Enlightened disappeared, the void in the area cracked and the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed martial artist appeared. They just left not long ago. Continue the chase. The black-robed martial artist stared at the void and then slapped the three-legged golden crow, causing it to shriek in pain. The three-legged golden crow had no choice but to increase its speed to the extreme and give chase. Although the three-legged golden crow and the black-robed martial artist were fast, they could not catch up to Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Enlightened. After all, anyone could burst out with shocking speed in the face of death. 20,000 miles was very far. Even Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Enlightened, who had vigorous Yuan Qi, could not reach that distance in one go. Along the way, they stopped from time to time and even killed a few powerful demon beasts that didn't have eyes. Moreover, they caught a few flying demonic beasts as their mounts. However, the demonic beasts had limited Yuan Qi. They could only fly for a short distance before they could move forward. Just like that, Ning Yu and perfected Kuan Peng fled in front while the black-clothed martial artist and the three-legged golden crow chased after them. Since Ning Yu and the others had pushed their speed to the limit, they only needed 1 day and 1 night to complete the journey of 20,000 kilometers. When he arrived at the entrance of the empty secret realm, Ningyu collapsed to the ground, his body weak. If it weren't for Ningyu's strong willpower, it would have been difficult for him to persevere in the long-distance high-speed flight. Catcher. However, just as Ningyu and Kuan Peng perfected stopped, the void behind them suddenly split open. You guys are pretty fast. Ningyu stared at the black-clothed cultivator and the three-legged golden crow as he spoke in a deep voice. Before you is the void secret realm. The moment you enter, even an Earth sovereign would die. A puny human sovereign like you wants to enter? The black-clothed martial artist crossed his arms and stared at Ningyu with interest. I'll give you a chance. Hand over the red demon sword and I'll spare your life. Don't be hypocritical. If you can spare my life, then the sun will rise from the west. Ningyu regained his composure. He and perfected Kuan Peng were standing at the entrance of the void secret realm. They could enter the void secret realm as long as they moved. Ningyu believed that the black-clothed martial artist wouldn't dare to act rashly for the time being. Haha, I mean what I say. The black-clothed martial artist smiled, still trying to convince Ningyu. All right. As long as you kill the three-legged golden crow, I'll immediately throw the red demon sword to you. Ningyu toyed with the red demon sword in his hand and pointed it at the three-legged golden crow. Swoosh. The three-legged golden crow's heart skipped a beat when Ningyu pointed the red demon sword at it. It hurriedly looked at the black-clothed martial artist. The three-legged golden crow was well aware of the importance of the red flying sword to the black-clothed martial artist. The black-clothed martial artist would most likely give up on it and obtain the red flying sword. Senior, Ningyu is a cunning person. You must not believe his words. The three-legged golden crow panted and said hurriedly. Are you serious? The black-clothed martial artist didn't even look at the three-legged golden crow. He stared at Ningyu and said, throw the red demon sword to me first. Once I'm sure that there's nothing wrong with the red demon sword, I'll immediately kill the three-legged golden crow. Haha, trying to get something without risking anything? Ningyu smiled and said, how about this? We'll do it at the same time. I'll throw the red demon sword and you kill the three-legged golden crow. No problem. The black-clothed martial artist agreed without hesitation. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed completely. It moved its feet, trying to leave the area. Be it the black-clothed martial artist or perfected Kuan Peng, they were both extremely powerful. If it stayed, it would only be a dead end. Come back. As soon as the three-legged golden crow moved, the black-clothed martial artist scolded, you should feel honored to exchange your life for the red demon sword. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I just want to use you as bait. At the same time, the black-clothed martial artist sent a voice transmission to the three-legged golden crow. Doesn't the three-legged golden crow tribe have a secret technique that can temporarily conceal one's vitality? When the time comes, you can just use it to deceive Ningyu, right? Will that work? The three-legged golden crow was puzzled. No problem. I know the patriarch of the three-legged golden crow tribe. I won't hurt you. The black-clothed martial artist nodded and guaranteed. All right. The three-legged golden crow stopped and gritted its teeth. Ningyu, I'll count to 3. I'll kill the three-legged golden crow, and you throw the red demon sword. The black-clothed martial artist looked at Ningyu and said, 1, 2, 3. As soon as the black-clothed martial artist said 3, he raised his right hand and slashed at the three-legged golden crow's neck. The three-legged golden crow's expression changed and it hurriedly tried to escape. Crack. However, the three-legged golden crow's speed of escape was clearly slower than the black-clothed martial artist's palm. With a crisp sound, the three-legged golden crow was slashed by the black-clothed martial artist's palm. It fell to the ground on the spot, dead. Swoosh. At the same time, Ningyu quickly threw the red demon sword in his hand. It charged at the black-clothed martial artist at an astonishing speed. Pa. The black-clothed martial artist's expression was solemn as he held the red demon sword firmly in his hand. No. It's a fake red demon sword. Suddenly, the black-clothed martial artist's expression changed because he realized something was amiss. The flying sword in his hand was not the real red demon sword, but a fake. It was a replica. Ningyu, How dare you trick me? The black-clothed martial artist was enraged and shouted, I killed the three-legged golden crow, but you, Humph. Don't think that I don't know that the three-legged golden crow has a secret technique to hide its aura. If I'm not wrong, the three-legged golden crow is not dead yet. Ning Yu snorted coldly, clearly noticing the problem. Kuan Peng perfected, what are our chances of winning if we fight them now? Ning Yu turned to look at Kuan Peng perfected and asked. 10%. Kuan Peng perfected said. Then what are we waiting for? Let's enter the empty secret realm. Ning Yu's pupils constricted. He stomped on the ground and immediately rushed into the empty secret realm. As for Kuan Peng perfected, he did not stay idle either. He followed closely behind Ning Yu and entered the empty secret realm. Swoosh. The three-legged golden crow woke up the moment Kuan Peng perfected and Ning Yu entered the empty secret realm. Chapter 13:13. To the Qianye Empire. The black-clothed cultivator's face darkened. Let's go to the Qianye Empire. He felt humiliated after letting Ning Yu and Kuan Peng Zhenren escape from under his nose. If he couldn't catch up to them and kill them, he would become a laughingstock. As for entering the empty secret zone, the black-clothed cultivator didn't even think about it. Firstly, the empty secret zone was extremely dangerous. A little carelessness could lead to death inside. Secondly, this was only a doppelganger with limited strength. It was only equivalent to a grade 4 Earth Supreme. In the empty secret zone, he couldn't be 100% sure that he could catch Ning Yu. He chose to go to the Qianye Empire because there was only one exit from the empty secret zone, which was the Qianye Empire. As long as Ning Yu and the others could come out of the empty secret zone, they would definitely appear at the exit of the Qianye Empire. Therefore, waiting there was the best choice for the black-clothed cultivator. Let's go. The black-clothed cultivator jumped onto the back of the three-legged golden crow and said in a low voice. Swoosh. The three-legged golden crow didn't dare to delay. It flapped its wings and flew toward the Qianye Empire. Shit. Inside the empty secret zone, as soon as Ning Yu entered, he felt his vision go black. Then, he lost consciousness. After an unknown period of time, when Ning Yu slowly opened his eyes, his expression changed drastically and he let out a scream. Ning Yu was in a very bad situation. At the moment, Ning Yu was surrounded by a pack of hungry wolves. The weakest among them was an 8th-grade human sovereign, and there were even 2 half-step Earth sovereigns among them. Bloodthirsty mad wolves. Ning Yu's expression changed. It wasn't because these wolves had high cultivation, but because they were bloodthirsty mad wolves. The bloodthirsty mad wolves had always been very united. If one dared to kill one of them, they would go all out against you until they killed you. Of course, the prerequisite was that the person was not particularly strong. After all, even bloodthirsty mad wolves would retreat if they encountered a strong opponent. Ah, hello. Ning Yu scratched his head and said, wanting to communicate with these bloodthirsty wolves. Roar. However, Ning Yu's action of scratching his head was seen as a provocation by the bloodthirsty mad wolves. The bloodthirsty berserk wolves howled at the same time, causing Ning Yu's expression to change drastically. Let's talk, let's talk. Ning Yu did not dare to fight with these bloodthirsty berserk wolves, for fear of accidentally injuring one of them. After all, the bloodthirsty berserk wolves in front of him seemed to have come out in full force, and there seemed to be no end to them. I wonder where Daoist Kuan Peng is. Ning Yu began to curse in his heart. Kuan Peng Daoist was the one who suggested the empty mystic realm, so he definitely knew what was going on inside. Since he didn't warn him, it meant that he didn't have any good intentions and wanted him to die in battle. Don't let me find you, or I'll definitely cut you into pieces, Ning Yu said viciously, then added in a low voice, that's if I become an Earth Supreme. Ning Yu was very self-aware. With his current strength, there was no way he could fight against Daoist Kuan Peng. Roar. Soon, Ning Yu discovered something unusual. Although the bloodthirsty berserk wolves looked unfriendly, none of them dared to attack. Could it be because of the Kuan Peng bone? Ning Yu took out the Kuan Peng bone from his storage ring and waved it in the air, trying to verify his theory. Whoosh. As expected, as soon as Ning Yu took out the Kuan Peng bone, The berserk wolves around him quickly retreated, not daring to come close. It really is because of the Kuan Peng bone. Ningyu felt a weight lifted off his chest. Although the berserk wolves were terrifying, they were still a few levels lower than the Kuan Peng. The Kuan Peng's bones gave the bloodthirsty mad wolf a lot of pressure. How should I leave? Although the Kuan Peng bone had forced the wolves to retreat, Ningyu was still worried. There were so many bloodthirsty berserk wolves around. He couldn't possibly hold the Kuan Peng bone and move slowly, could he? How troublesome. After thinking about it, Ningyu began to communicate with the law of space, wanting it to tear the void and take him away. However, the law of space seemed to have fallen into a deep slumber. No matter how Ningyu called out to it, it did not answer him. Sapling, what do we do now? Since the law of space could not wake him up, Ningyu decided to contact the sapling. These wolves seemed to be guarding something. The sapling was different from the law of space. It did not fall into a deep slumber. Guarding what? Ningyu was surprised. Something that could be guarded by so many bloodthirsty berserk wolves was definitely something good. It might even be some sort of treasure. It's best that you don't act rashly, because those wolves aren't easy to deal with. They're just the vanguard, and there are even high-rank Earth sovereigns within. The sapling warned, not allowing Ningyu to act rashly. High-rank Earth sovereign? Ningyu was finally moved. Although the Kuan Peng bone could withstand the attacks of the bloodthirsty berserk wolves, it was useless against the bloodthirsty berserk wolves at the advanced Earth sovereign realm. Moreover, if the bloodthirsty berserk wolf knew that he had the Kuan Peng bone, it would definitely come out to snatch it. Whoosh! Right at this moment, a huge figure appeared in front of Ningyu in the blink of an eye. 6th grade human sovereign? It was a bloodthirsty mad wolf with a huge body and a terrifying 1st grade Earth Supreme Realm cultivation. The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf frowned slightly and stared at Ningyu. It asked in confusion, aren't cultivators below the Earth Supreme Realm not allowed to enter? Why are there so many humans below the Earth Supreme Realm in just one day? Did you come alone? The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf stared at Ningyu for a while before asking. No, there's an old man with me. Ningyu answered honestly. What about the old man? The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf continued. We got separated. We entered the empty secret realm together. When I woke up, I found myself here. My companion disappeared, Ningyu said. He wanted to get some useful information from the natives. That's right. It's normal for you to get separated. The Void Secret Realm is very special. Everyone who enters will be sent to different areas. The huge bloodthirsty mad wolf waved its hand and said, you can leave now. Ningyu didn't expect the bloodthirsty mad wolf to let him leave. To be honest, Ningyu didn't want to leave for the time being. At the very least, he didn't want to leave before finding out how to leave the Void Secret Realm. What? Do you want to be a guest of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan? Seeing that Ningyu didn't leave, the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf stopped in its tracks and stared at Ningyu with interest. This is my first time entering the Void Secret Realm. I want to know how to leave. Ningyu said sincerely. He really wanted to leave. The Void Secret Realm was a place that only Earth Supreme experts could enter. As a mere 6th grade human sovereign, he definitely wouldn't be able to get anything out of it. Chapter 13-14. Poisoned. The empty secret realm is extremely dangerous. Only Earth Supremes are allowed inside. I'm just a human sovereign. Wouldn't I be courting death? Ningyu did not hide his thoughts and said seriously. You're interesting. The giant wolf stared at Ningyu again. At the same time, it sent out a part of its perception to probe Ningyu's secrets. Buzz. However, just as the giant wolf's perception reached Ningyu, a terrifying light emitted from Ningyu's body and devoured the wolf's perception. This change was clearly out of the wolf's expectation. Interesting, very interesting. The giant bloodthirsty mad wolf waved its hand and said, start from here and head west until you reach a city. There's an altar in that city. Climb up the altar and you'll be able to leave. As it spoke, the wolf's figure flickered and flew into the distance. Ningyu, follow him. There's something we need inside. Just as Ningyu was about to leave, the sapling's voice sounded in his mind. Hearing this, Ningyu was stunned at first, then he said in a clear voice, "Senior Wolf, I've just arrived here and don't know much about this place. I wonder if I can wait here for a few days for my master to come?" Whoosh! The huge bloodthirsty berserk wolf instantly stopped, her brows furrowed in confusion. With a gloomy expression, the giant wolf finally nodded and said, "Follow me." "Thank you." Ningyu thanked him and followed closely behind the huge bloodthirsty berserk wolf. It wasn't until they were far away that Ningyu realized how terrifying the bloodthirsty wolves were. Along the way, he and the giant wolf flew at full speed, and the ground was filled with bloodthirsty wolves. There must be tens of thousands of bloodthirsty wolves, right? In the empty secret realm, the bloodthirsty mad wolves are a major race. Perhaps sensing Ningyu's confusion, the giant bloodthirsty wild wolf explained, "Today happens to be a big day for the bloodthirsty wild wolf tribe, so all the bloodthirsty wild wolves in the empty mystery land have come." Did something big happen to the bloodthirsty wolf clan? Ningyu frowned slightly, because he could see some worry in the bloodthirsty mad wolf's eyes. However, Ningyu was very calm. Ningyu and the others finally reached the deepest part of the forest after following the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf for several minutes. In front of Ningyu and the others, there was a very luxurious palace. Ningyu was surprised. The bloodthirsty mad wolf clan actually had skilled craftsmen who could actually build such a majestic palace. "You rest here for now. I'll go get busy." After leading Ningyu to a room, the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf moved towards the deepest part of the palace. "Sapling, why didn't I sense the aura of a high-rank Earth Sovereign?" After the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf left, Ningyu carefully set up a soundproof array and asked, "Also, what's so interesting about this place?" "The reason why you didn't sense the aura of a high-rank Earth Sovereign is because all of them are in one place and their auras are isolated." The sapling replied, "As for what I'm interested in, just think about it. Could it be the branch of the world tree?" Ningyu exclaimed. At the bottom of the Tristone Cave, the sapling had devoured a branch of the world tree, causing its strength to soar to the first-grade Earth Sovereign realm. If it could devour and refine a second branch of the world tree, one could imagine how strong the sapling would be. "Wrong, it's not the branch of the world tree," said the sapling. "Not the branch of the world tree? Then what is it?" Ningyu was puzzled. "I've said it before. If I want to increase my strength, I need the branch of the world tree, or rather, I need treasures. Sigh, not to mention treasures. Even if there's a branch of the world tree here, it has nothing to do with us. After all, there are high-rank Earth Sovereigns here." Ningyu sighed and felt a little regretful. This was the lair of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan, so even if there were treasures here, it had nothing to do with them. Acting violently under the eyes of a high-rank Earth Sovereign? It would be extremely difficult. "Don't worry, those high-rank Earth Sovereigns are all poisoned," the sapling said confidently. "The poison in those high-rank Earth Sovereigns isn't an ordinary poison. If we don't treat them in time, they might die on the spot." "You're saying that we should wait here?" Ningyu's eyes widened. "That's right, we have to wait here. When those high-rank Earth Sovereigns die, we can go out and search for treasures." "Wolves are coming." The sapling's expression changed. "Be careful, don't give yourself away." Creak. At this moment, the door was pushed open and the huge bloodthirsty mad wolf walked in. However, this bloodthirsty mad wolf's expression was very ugly, as if he was troubled by something. "Follow me." The bloodthirsty mad wolf waved its hand at Ningyu. "I'll bring you somewhere. Someone wants to see you." "Someone wants to see me?" Ningyu was shocked. "Is there a human in this palace?" "There is indeed a human." The bloodthirsty mad wolf didn't hide anything. "It's that human who wants to see you." "All right." Helpless, Ningyu could only nod and follow behind the bloodthirsty mad wolf. The bloodthirsty mad wolf led Ningyu around the palace, passing many rooms before stopping in front of a luxurious room. "Green Wolf King, could the human you mentioned be inside?" On the way, Ningyu learned that the bloodthirsty mad wolf was called the Green Wolf King, the king of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan. As for the high-rank Earth Sovereign bloodthirsty mad wolves and the human, the Green Wolf King didn't say much. "That's right. The Green Wolf King took out a golden medicine spoon and inserted it into the hole in the room. Crack! A crisp sound rang out, and the tightly shut door slowly opened. Ningyu hesitated for a moment before gritting his teeth and walking in. Hiss! As soon as he entered the room, Ningyu sucked in a breath of cold air. There were a total of 5 bloodthirsty mad wolves in the room. No, to be precise, there were 4 of them and a human girl. The 4 bloodthirsty mad wolves were all around the 6th rank Earth Sovereign level. As for the girl, her cultivation wasn't very high. She was only a 7th rank human sovereign. A human girl and 4 bloodthirsty mad wolves in the same room. Ningyu couldn't help but overthink things. Put away your dirty thoughts. I called you here because I have something to tell you. A look of disgust appeared on the human girl's face. Take this crystal ball out and hand it to the current emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire. As she spoke, she took out a crystal ball from her bosom and tossed it to Ningyu. You can leave now. Seeing Ningyu catch the crystal ball, the human girl said coldly, when you see the emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire, he will give you a great opportunity. Ningyu frowned. He observed the crystal ball in his hand but didn't leave. Why aren't you leaving? The human girl said in a low voice. Green Luo poison. Chapter 13:15. Chapter 13:15. Restriction what? Hearing Ningyu's words, the lady's face drastically changed as she stood up and approached Ningyu. How do you know that we're poisoned by the lush vine poison? The lady's face was unfriendly. One must know that they were poisoned by the lush vine poison, which was odorless and colorless. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't be able to discover it. The man before her was only a 6th grade sovereign, so how did he discover it? Not only do I know that you're poisoned by the lush vine poison, but I also know that you won't live for more than half an hour if you're not treated. Ningyu did not reply to the lady's words as he fiddled with the crystal ball in his hand and continued, I'm curious, if I give this crystal ball to the emperor of the Thousand Leaves Empire, what benefits will he give me? Azure Wolf King, capture him. The lady berated, he might know how to treat the lush vine poison. Rustle. Since the lady had spoken, the Azure Wolf King did not hesitate and immediately charged towards Ningyu. At that crucial moment, an emerald branch shot out from Ningyu's body and came into contact with the Azure Wolf King. Boom. After a single move, the Azure Wolf King was sent flying and heavily slammed against the wall. What? The sudden change caused the lady's eyes to narrow. His coming with ill intentions. At that moment, the lady's face turned extremely cold. The Azure Wolf King was a 1st grade Earth Sovereign with incomparably powerful strength. But this youth had easily repelled the Azure Wolf King, which meant that this youth was much stronger than the Azure Wolf King. Roar. After being repelled by a single move from Ningyu, the Azure Wolf King roared towards the sky with unwillingness written on its face as it charged forth once again. Boom. The outcome wasn't any different from before. The Azure Wolf King was sent flying once again. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Ningyu took a step forth as he furiously glared at the Azure Wolf King. If you don't want to die, then come and give it a try. Under the threat of death, the Green Wolf King became obedient. It glared at Ningyu with its large green eyes, its face full of anger. Catcher. Ningyu didn't care if the Green Wolf King was angry or not. He raised his right hand and threw the crystal ball to the ground. A crisp sound rang out as a message tore through the void, trying to escape from this area. Come here. Ningyu summoned the 10,000 bone flame and caught the message. Good, very good. I have no enmity with you, yet you want to harm me. After reading these messages, Ningyu's expression turned ugly. Because at the end of the message, he saw a line of words, a line that was enough to make him want to kill. Kill the messenger. It was this line of words that made Ningyu want to kill. However, this was still the lair of the bloodthirsty wolf clan. With so many bloodthirsty wolves outside, Ningyu did not want to make a move now. Ningyu stepped on the woman's chest and said, hand over the thing in the crystal ball and I can consider sparing your life. Stupid trash, you dare to touch me? I'll let me. The woman roared. Ningyu slapped the woman's face, knocking out 2 of her front teeth. I hate being threatened. Shrugging, Ningyu said, "This is your last chance. Hand over the thing and I can consider sparing your life. Otherwise, I can only send you to hell." Ha ha ha. You're afraid. The woman laughed maniacally. You don't dare to kill me. This is the lair of the bloodthirsty wolves. If you dare to kill me, the bloodthirsty wolves will definitely not let you off. Oh. What's your relationship with the bloodthirsty wolves? Are you their descendant? Ningyu raised his eyebrows and looked at the woman with interest. Fart. The woman was furious and spat out a mouthful of blood. I advise you to let me go. My father is the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire. If you dare to kill me, he will definitely tear you to pieces, the woman said angrily. Sigh, this is really difficult. Ningyu sighed and said, I already have so much of you. Even if I let you go, your father will definitely make a move against me. Why don't I just kill you now? Filthy, stupid trash, you will pay for what you did today. The woman continued to spit out a mouthful of tea without any signs of remorse. The other bloodthirsty berserk wolves in the room all turned their heads away. They all understood the logic of wolves having to lower their heads when under other people's roof. Ningyu's domineering performance left them with no choice but to comply with Ningyu. Otherwise, Ningyu would kill them all. Since you won't speak, I can only send you to hell. Ningyu shrugged and stomped his right foot on the woman's head. Young friend, please wait. Before Ningyu's right foot landed on the woman's head, one of the bloodthirsty wolves in the 6th grade Earth Supreme Realm hurriedly called out. Ningyu's right foot stopped 10 centimeters away from the woman and looked at the bloodthirsty wolf in confusion. This bloodthirsty wolf was huge and had an obvious scar between his eyebrows. Young friend, can you give me some face and let her go? The scarred wolf said awkwardly, although she's a bit hateful, it's best not to kill her. The scarred wolf transmitted this sentence to Ningyu through voice transmission. After all, he didn't want the woman to hear it. Your face is not worth much, Ningyu also replied through voice transmission. The scarred wolf was embarrassed. He gritted his teeth and said, she is the daughter of the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire, and the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire has a cultivation. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Ningyu interrupted the scarred wolf and said, tell me the truth. Okay. The scarred wolf seemed to have made up his mind and said, many years ago, the ruler of the Thousand Leaves Empire placed some restrictions in our bodies. Our lives are completely in their hands. But what does that have to do with me? Ningyu frowned. She wants to kill me. Even if I let her go, will she be grateful to me? Won't she still tell her father to kill me? Her father is so powerful that he can even place restrictions in your bodies, let alone kill me. The scarred wolf was embarrassed. Since Ningyu had put it this way, it would be useless for him to plead for mercy. However, the scarred wolf was unwilling to die just like that. He nodded slightly at the Green Wolf King. The Green Wolf King had a conflicted expression on his face, but in the end, he also nodded. Whoosh. Not long after, a slightly shorter bloodthirsty wolf came and handed a storage pouch to the Green Wolf King. What do you want? That belongs to the Thousand Leaves Empire and our family. The human woman saw the storage pouch in the Green Wolf King's hand and roared like a madman, bloodthirsty wolf, you dare to betray my father? I will kill you all. Oh no. Young friend, hurry up and seal her mind. Don't let her control the restrictions in our bodies. Chapter 13:16. Detoxification. It's fine. Ningyu waved his hand, and then stepped on the human woman's head. Bang! Ningyu's foot was extremely well controlled and directly trampled the young woman until she fainted. At the same time, Ningyu sent a wisp of his soul power into the girl's sea of consciousness and sealed it. Done. Ningyu clapped his hands and withdrew his right foot. I hope you won't disappoint me. I promise you won't. The scarred wolf was overjoyed and said to the Green Wolf King, give him that thing. Swish. The Green Wolf King's face darkened, but he still threw the interspatial pouch to Ningyu. Swish. Ningyu didn't even have a chance to catch the storage bag before a branch shot out from the storage ring and wrapped around the storage bag before entering the storage ring to lie dormant. What the hell? Ningyu was so angry that his nose was crooked. Even if you want it, Shouldn't you at least let me see what it is first? That thing is useful to me. As long as I devour it, I can raise my strength to the second-grade Earth Supreme Realm and do you a great favor. The sapling knew that Ningyu was a little angry, so it said, there are 4 6th-grade Earth Supreme Realm bloodthirsty wolves here. They all have imprints in their minds. Don't you want to control those imprints? With 4 6th-grade Earth Sovereign Realm bloodthirsty wolf followers in the Void Realm, I believe that you can do whatever you want in there. Ningyu's expression turned gloomy. In the end, he said, you talk the most. All the good things will belong to you. Let's make it clear in advance, all the good things will belong to me. You can't take anything. Don't worry, this is enough. I won't fight with you for the stuff below. The sapling promised. Cough, cough. Ningyu collected his thoughts and coughed dryly. He said to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, your bloodthirsty mad wolf clan is a big clan in the Void Secret Realm. Do you have anything more precious? Yes, but... The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf paused for a moment before continuing. But what? Ningyu asked. You have to neutralize the poison in our bodies. The scarred man looked hopefully at Ningyu, hoping to see a positive answer from his face. You want me to help you neutralize the poison? The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was disappointed. Ningyu's mouth was agape as he said, the Luluor poison is a rare poison in the world. How can I, a 6th-grade human sovereign, help you resolve it? But, at this point, Ningyu did not continue and kept them guessing. But what? The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's extinguished anger was ignited once again. If you have any treasures that can help me cultivate until I reach 7th-grade human sovereign, or peak 6th-grade human sovereign, I can help you resolve the poison in your bodies. Ningyu said. Whoosh. When Ningyu's words fell into the ears of the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, it was like the sound of nature, making him extremely excited. Are you serious? The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf asked with a trembling voice, wanting to confirm it. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. Ningyu stared at the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf for a moment before continuing, I just said that there's still half an hour. Now, 10 minutes have already passed. In other words, if the two of you aren't able to neutralize the poison in your bodies within 20 minutes, then it's very likely that you'll die. Green Wolf King, don't keep anything to yourself. Bring everything here. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf knew that Ningyu wanted benefits, so he said in a deep voice. Whoosh. The Green Wolf King's face was filled with unwillingness, but he still left quickly. A dozen or so seconds later, the Green Wolf King returned to the room with several storage bags. Friend, these storage bags contain all the treasures of the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan. They all belong to you now. The scarred bloodthirsty Mad Wolf said anxiously, I hope you can heal us as soon as possible. Ningyu didn't even look at them, and directly stored the storage bags into his storage ring. I can heal you, but I'm a little worried. Ningyu paced back and forth in the room. What if you suddenly attack me after I resolve the poison in your bodies? Haha, don't worry, friend. We can swear to the heavens that we won't attack you. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf laughed. That's right, we definitely won't attack you. The remaining 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves also echoed. Alright, have the Green Wolf King guard the door. No one is allowed to enter without my permission. Ningyu seemed to have made a great sacrifice, and said, also, prepare a large amount of essence crystals and pills for me to consume. No problem. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was overjoyed, and hurriedly tossed a storage bag to Ningyu. The storage bag was filled with Emperor-grade essence crystals. You really know how to hide. Ningyu put away the storage bag, then sat cross-legged behind the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, and suddenly slapped his hands on his back. Fart. As soon as Ningyu's palms touched the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's back, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf spat out a large mouthful of black blood. Obviously, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's injuries were not light. If he didn't receive treatment soon, he would definitely be completely corroded by the poison. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Following that, Ningyu waved his palms repeatedly, and all kinds of hand seals flew out, landing on the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's back. Fut fut fut. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf spat out blood continuously, and his face became paler and paler. Kid, What the hell are you doing? Seeing Ningyu's actions, the Green Wolf King was enraged, and said, "Hurry up and stop, or else you shut up." Ningyu interrupted the Green Wolf King's words, and said fiercely, "If you don't want him to die, then shut your mouth. Otherwise, I dare not guarantee what will happen." Damn it. Being scolded by Ningyu, and with the 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves staring at him, the Green Wolf King didn't dare to say anything, and could only curse in his heart. "Little friend, continue, I can feel the poison in my body decreasing." Although his face was pale, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was very excited. Because he could feel that the devil's luo poison at the heart area was rapidly decreasing. His suppressed strength was also gradually recovering. Just at this time, Ningyu stopped. "What's going on?" the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf asked, very puzzled. As long as Ningyu worked a little harder, the poison in his body would be completely neutralized. Why did Ningyu stop? "Don't just care about yourself. If I continue to treat you, the other 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves might very well die." Ningyu moved his feet, arriving behind the second bloodthirsty mad wolf, and did the same thing. For a moment, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was a little embarrassed. However, what Ningyu said was reasonable, so the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf didn't say anything. Instead, he sat down cross-legged, circulated his mental cultivation, and started to try to refine the poison in his body. Chapter 13-17. Opportunity. Pack. Ningyu didn't care about what the scarred berserk wolf thought. He slapped the second berserk wolf's back, causing it to vomit blood. Poochie. Fresh blood spurted out, and the second wolf's face turned pale as well. Due to the previous example, the second bloodthirsty mad wolf did not say anything. Instead, it gritted its teeth and persevered. Ningyu continued to form hand seals. Every time he slapped the back of the second wolf, the latter would vomit a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, this situation did not last long. Otherwise, the second bloodthirsty mad wolf would die from just coughing up blood. Swoosh, swoosh. Following that, the third and fourth wolves also suffered from Ningyu's attacks. They continued to vomit blood, and their faces turned paler and paler. 20 minutes later, Ningyu breathed out a mouthful of turbid air, and an excited expression appeared on his face. "How is it?" the Green Wolf King hurriedly asked. Fortunately, the poison in their bodies was temporarily suppressed. At the very least, it won't relapse for the next 3 days. Ningyu answered. Hua. Ningyu's answer obviously did not satisfy the Green Wolf King. He took a step forward, looking like he was about to attack. "Back off." At this time, the scarred wolf scolded, "What a disgrace." The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's words played a big role. Helpless, the Green Wolf King could only retreat and leave the room. "Little friend, when can you help us neutralize the remaining poison?" The scarred berserk wolf tried his best to remain calm and said, "If you have any needs, just tell me. Our berserk wolf clan will satisfy you. It's not time yet." Ningyu said calmly. "The most important thing now is to get rid of her." Ningyu kicked the human girl's face, waking her up. The moment she woke up, the human girl let out a hysterical scream, "Idiot, trash, you, pa pa pa." Ningyu slapped her several times in a row, and each slap landed on the human woman's face, causing her to swell into a pig's head. "Tell me why she came to the Void Realm." Ningyu did not want to talk to the human girl. He sealed her mouth and turned to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf. "We don't know the specifics, but it's rumored that she's here to capture someone who's hostile to her," the scarred wolf said. "Arrest. Did you catch him?" Ningyu was puzzled. "I caught her, but I can't see her right now." The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was very conflicted. "Take me to her," Ningyu said in a deep voice, his tone unquestionable. "All right." When one was under the eaves of another, one had no choice but to lower one's head. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf still wanted to use Ningyu to neutralize the poison in his body. If he did not listen at this time, it was very likely that Ningyu would no longer help them. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the others walked in front, while Ningyu carried the human girl and followed closely behind. Sho. After passing through the main hall and taking a few turns, they finally stopped in front of a sacrificial altar. Looking at the sacrificial altar in front of him, Ningyu raised his eyebrows and said doubtfully, "If I'm not wrong, this sacrificial altar is very special. Cultivating in it will yield twice the results with half the effort." "Yes." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf moved his feet and was the first to walk up the sacrificial altar. The remaining 3 bloodthirsty mad wolves and the Green Wolf King also walked up the sacrificial altar. As for Ningyu, after a moment of silence, he also followed. "Activate." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf threw a few crystals around the sacrificial altar. Boom! In an instant, golden light shone brightly, and the sacrificial altar shook violently. Buzz buzz. Not long after, Ningyu and the others all disappeared. When they reappeared, Ningyu was a little dumbfounded. Ningyu could feel that there was nothing around him. "Small space?" Ningyu asked with a frown. "Yes, it is." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf didn't hide anything. He pointed at it and growled, "Break." Suddenly, the void trembled, and soon, the void dissipated. A bamboo forest appeared before Ningyu's eyes. The woman she captured is trapped in this bamboo forest. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf seemed to be afraid of the bamboo forest in front of him and didn't dare to approach. "What's going on?" Ningyu shouted. He needed to know the exact situation. "The woman inside has a powerful weapon that can instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme," the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf said carefully, as if he didn't want the woman inside the bamboo forest to hear his words. He, Jin Yemeng, stop dreaming. Unless an expert surpassing the Earth Supreme enters the Void Secret Realm, you can't do anything to me. No." Suddenly, a faint laughter entered Ningyu's ears. Before the laughter could finish, it stopped abruptly. "Who are you?" Ningyu looked over and saw a beautiful figure at the edge of the bamboo forest, coldly staring at him. "Does it matter who I am?" Ningyu grabbed the woman in his hand and threw her into the bamboo forest. "Jin Yemeng, what are you trying to do?" The figure in the bamboo forest berated when she saw the woman flying towards her. "Damn it!" The woman cursed inwardly and stabbed out with the flying sword in her hand. Poof! The sound of a flying sword stabbing into flesh resounded in the area. For a moment, everyone in the area, including the beautiful figure, was dumbfounded. The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf was dumbfounded because he felt that something bad was about to happen. Jin Yemeng was dead. How could the emperor of the Qianye Empire let them go? Although heavenly sovereigns couldn't enter the Void Secret Realm, there were many high-level Earth sovereigns in the Qianye Empire. The beautiful figure was dumbfounded because she couldn't understand why Jin Yemeng didn't resist. "Very well." Ningyu clapped his hands and took a step forward. "I can save you, but you have to promise me one thing." "What is it?" The beautiful figure said coldly. "Keep it a secret for me. Don't tell anyone that I'm related to Jin Yemeng's death." Ningyu shrugged and said, "Especially the emperor of the Qianye Empire. Don't tell him." The beautiful figure fell silent and didn't immediately answer Ningyu. She was thinking about whether Ningyu was telling the truth and whether Ningyu was in cahoots with Jin Yemeng. She even split her perception to probe Jin Yemeng, wanting to see if it was the real Jin Yemeng. The beautiful figure was shocked. The Jin Yemeng in front of her was the real Jin Yemeng, and she just happened to kill it. However, Jin Yemeng seemed to be the same as her. She was poisoned. Even if she didn't kill Jin Yemeng, she wouldn't live for long. "Young friend, you might not know, but the woman inside is called Jin Lan. She's Jin Yemeng's younger sister." The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf explained in a low voice. Both of them entered the Void Secret Realm at the same time and encountered a great opportunity. Chapter 1318. Chapter 1318. Chapter 1318 will get to the point, Ningyu said in a low voice. He did not look too good. Ningyu did not want to get involved in the affairs of Jin Yemeng and Jin Lan. What Ningyu was most concerned about was how to cover up this matter so that the ruler of the Qianye Empire would not know. Actually, Ningyu had thought about silencing them. However, many wolves had seen Ningyu appear in the den of the bloodthirsty wolves. If the ruler of the Qianye Empire wanted to investigate, he would not be able to hide it. That was why when Ningyu learned that Jin Yeming had captured someone, he wanted to come and take a look. He did not expect them to be sisters. This put Ningyu in a difficult position. Sigh, how troublesome. With a sigh, Ningyu said, I don't want a third person to know about this. Hearing Ningyu's words, the scarred bloodthirsty wolf felt a chill down his spine. He had a bad feeling. Ever since he found out that they had been poisoned by the devil's radish, Ningyu had been very domineering. It might be a little troublesome. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf said, Jin Yeming has a life token in the Chenya Empire. If she is killed, the Chenya Empire will know immediately. If I'm not wrong, there should be a large number of strong fighters entering the empty secret realm. If there's trouble, find a way to solve it. Ningyu said, if those strong fighters enter the empty secret realm, I'm afraid you guys will be the first ones they look for. I promise you. At this moment, Jin Lan seemed to have thought it through. He said loudly, Jin Yeming wants to see my opportunity. If I kill her, so be it. It's no big deal. Oh, aren't you afraid of her father? You should know that her father is the ruler of the Chenya Empire. Ningyu stared at Jin Lan with interest. The ruler of the Chenya Empire is not invincible. At the very least, there are 2 people in the Chenya Empire who are on par with him. Jin Lan said coldly, the reason why Jin Yeming didn't kill me immediately was because she was afraid of the powerhouse behind me. Otherwise, she would have killed me long ago. Why would she have locked me up in the bamboo forest? You seem to have a point. Ningyu did not believe Jin Lan's words, but he did not refute them. It's not just reasonable, it's very reasonable. Jin Lan said, if you want to live, you'll have to listen to my orders. Otherwise, you'll definitely be found by the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire and brutally killed. Haha, our thoughts are surprisingly the same. Ningyu said with a faint smile. He was not angry at Jin Lan's words at all. You want to control me? Jin Lan took a step forward and unleashed her terrifying aura. She looked like she would rush out and fight Ningyu the moment he gave the nod. Don't be angry, it's just a thought. Ningyu shrugged and said, I didn't kill Jin Yeming. Why would the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire come looking for me? As he spoke, Ningyu turned to look at the scarred bloodthirsty wolf and said, I believe that the ruler of the Thousand-Leaf Empire will send people into the empty secret realm soon. Go and spread the news that Jin Lan killed Jin Yeming and that you've captured him. How dare you? Jin Lan was furious. He took out a flying sword and pointed it at Ningyu. He said coldly, at most, we'll fight to the death. Who's afraid of who? Ningyu, hurry up and snatch that flying sword. I want to devour it. Before Ningyu could respond, the sapling said anxiously, devour my ass. That flying sword is very special. It's not weaker than the red demon sword. If you're capable, go and snatch it yourself, Ningyu said grumpily as he rolled his eyes. Ningyu could sense that the flying sword in Jin Lan's hand was extremely terrifying. Jin Lan looked like a goddess of war as she held the flying sword. Ningyu seemed to have seen that feeling before, but he could not quite grasp it. If I could snatch it, I wouldn't be begging you. The sapling said angrily, that flying sword is a peerless sword. It has an astonishing will in it. If I can devour that will, I can even find out who cut down the Tree of World. What? Ningyu was shocked. Could the flying sword in Jin Lan's hand be related to the person who cut down the Tree of World? Thinking of this, Ningyu stared at Jin Lan with a burning gaze. He looked like he was about to rush over. Lecture. Jin Lan felt like thousands of snakes were crawling all over his body when Ningyu stared at him. It was very uncomfortable and he shouted, I'm not a lecher. I just want to borrow the flying sword in your hand to take a look. Ningyu voiced his thoughts. You want to observe the flying sword in my hand? Jin Lan raised his brows and said, come over yourself and enter the bamboo forest. I'll let you take a look at the flying sword. Little friend, you mustn't. Seeing that Ningyu wanted to enter the bamboo forest, the scarred wolf hurriedly stopped him. That flying sword is very terrifying. Once it awakens, it can instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme. The scarred wolf did not want Ningyu to be injured or captured, because their lives were all entrusted to Ningyu. Once Ningyu was captured, who would cure them of the lush vine poison? It's fine. Ning Yu waved his hand, indicating that the scarred wolf did not need to worry. Then, Ning Yu leaped and charged straight into the bamboo forest. This bamboo forest was a treasure land discovered by the bloodthirsty wolf clan. It was a very special place. If one was trapped inside, they could launch an attack, but their bodies could not leave. Unless the restriction was removed from the outside, it would be useless no matter how powerful the attack was. Swish. Ning Yu had only flown halfway when he stopped and waved at the scarred wolf. Come with me. I'm a little worried if I go in alone. The reason why Ning Yu did this was because he was a little worried that the scarred wolf would cause trouble. As for the flying sword in Jinlan's hand, Ning Yu was not worried. The intent in the flying sword could injure others and instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme, but it could not hurt him. In fact, it could even help him. This was all told to him by the Red Devil. If he used Jinlan's flying sword as bait, there was a high chance that the Red Devil's intent would be completely stimulated and he would be able to unleash an extremely terrifying move. Killing a high-level Earth Supreme would not be a problem. The greater the danger, the greater the opportunity. Ning Yu did not want to give up. Me. The scarred wolf's expression was very ugly. He did not want to enter the bamboo forest and face Jinlan. After all, he was the one who had captured Jinlan with a few other bloodthirsty wolf clans. If he were to face Jinlan now, wouldn't he suffer a great loss if Jinlan used the flying sword to kill him? What are you doing? Why are you acting so cowardly like a female bloodthirsty wolf? Ning Yu said coldly, looking very dissatisfied. Fine. The scarred wolf had no choice but to move his feet and follow behind Ning Yu. Swish. Swish. Ning Yu and the scarred wolf quickly rushed into the bamboo forest. Buzz. As Ning Yu approached the bamboo forest, Jinlan's expression changed. This was because Jinlan realized that the flying sword in her hand was vibrating violently as Ning Yu approached it. Chapter 1319. Confrontation. What happened? The flying sword in his hand trembled, causing Jinlan's expression to change drastically. She had never encountered such a situation before. Stop. Seeing that the flying sword was about to break free from his grip, Jinlan shouted, Stop. Whoosh. When he heard Jinlan's words, Ning Yu stopped in midair. He looked at Jinlan in confusion and said, Don't tell me you're thinking of throwing the flying sword out. Throw my ass. Jinlan berated. I've changed my mind. If any of you dare to take a step into the bamboo forest, I'll let you have a taste of its power. Jinlan took a step forward and held the flying sword in front of her chest. She looked like she would attack if Ning Yu continued moving forward. Don't worry about her. Getting the flying sword is more important. The sapling urged from within his storage ring. Obviously, the will in the flying sword was extremely important to the sapling. If he could devour the will within the flying sword, he would even be able to understand the battle that took place tens of thousands of years ago and find out who cut down the world tree. All right. Ning Yu clenched his teeth and pushed his speed to the limit. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the edge of the bamboo forest and leaped into it. Although there was a barrier around the bamboo forest, it did not stop people from entering the bamboo forest from the outside world. If someone wanted to come out of the bamboo forest, the barrier would stop them. Whoosh. Whoosh. Not only did Ning Yu enter the bamboo forest, but the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf also followed Ning Yu into the bamboo forest. The scarred, bloodthirsty wolf did not dare to approach Jinlan. He retreated to the edge of the bamboo forest and was even trembling. Jinlan had a trump card that could instantly kill a high-level Earth Supreme. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf was no fool. He did not want to die at Jinlan's hands for no reason. I've said it before. As long as you dare take a step into the bamboo forest, I'll let you have a taste of its power. Jinlan's face darkened. He immediately waved the flying sword in his hand and slashed at Ning Yu. Retreat. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf's expression changed drastically when he saw Jinlan's action. Ning Yu was the key to neutralizing the green radish poison. If Ning Yu was injured or died, then they would be completely finished. It's fine. A terrifying light burst forth from Ning Yu's eyes. Then, he brandished the red demon sword and slashed with it. Ding! When the two flying swords collided, a crisp sound rang out. Ningyu only felt the sky turn dark, and he felt drowsy. Not good, it can actually absorb people's mind. Ningyu was shocked. He hurriedly contacted the Red Fiend and the sapling to get them to help. Ningyu knew very well that the reason he was feeling drowsy was because Jinlan's flying sword had shot out a cold beam. It was obvious that the cold light was the will left behind by the flying sword. "Don't worry." The sapling's joyful voice sounded in Ningyu's mind. Whoosh! Shortly after, the sapling shot out from the storage ring. Its two branches swayed in the wind as it charged towards Jinlan. "Leave the red demon sword to me for now." The Red Fiend was not idle either. He controlled the red demon sword to fly out and collided with the silver flying sword in Jinlan's hand. Buzz! The two flying swords collided continuously in mid-air, causing the void of the entire bamboo forest to shatter. The bamboo forest is about to break. At the corner, the scarred bloodthirsty wolf's eyes narrowed. The scarred bloodthirsty wolf never expected the collision of the two flying swords to produce such a terrifying power. He was momentarily stunned. Retreat! Ningyu knew how terrifying the will in the red demon sword was. Since Jinlan's silver flying sword could contend with the red demon sword, it meant that there was a terrifying will in the silver flying sword as well. After being berated by Ningyu, the scarred bloodthirsty wolf immediately reacted and retreated. Even though he was a 6th grade Earth Sovereign, he could not get close to this level of confrontation. After all, he had yet to completely neutralize the green radish poison in his body. Jinlan moved. The silver flying sword and the red demon sword exchanged blows. As for Jinlan, he was fighting with Ningyu. Rumble. Jinlan was an early 7th grade Earth Supreme. His strength was unfathomable, and he was extremely powerful among his peers. So powerful? Ningyu realized how terrifying Jinlan was as soon as they exchanged blows. Although he was only an early 7th grade Earth Supreme, his overall strength was enough to contend with a peak 9th grade Earth Supreme. One must know that with Ningyu's current fighting prowess, he could even confront and kill a pinnacle 9th grade sovereign. For Jinlan to be able to fight Ningyu to a draw, one could imagine how terrifying her strength was. "You won't be able to escape today," Jinlan was furious. He was determined to kill Ningyu. In Jinlan's opinion, Ningyu was the same as Jin Yemeng. They were both eyeing her treasured sword. When she and Jin Yemeng entered an ancient cave abode together, she was a little unhappy when she was chosen by the silver flying sword. She did not think much of it. Who would have thought that when she arrived at the bloodthirsty wolf clan, Jin Yemeng would suddenly attack, injure her, and imprison her in the bamboo forest? Fortunately, the silver flying sword protected its master and entered the bamboo forest with her. Otherwise, given Jin Yemeng's personality, she would have killed her long ago. Now that Ningyu was also eyeing her flying sword, she was extremely angry and wanted to kill Ningyu. "Why should I escape?" Ningyu forced Jinlan to retreat with one move and tried to speak in a calm tone. "There's something strange about that flying sword of yours. If you continue using it, it might affect your mind and make you shut up." Jinlan berated and interrupted Ningyu. "Don't try to scare me. That flying sword is my natal flying sword. I've already left a soul imprint in it." Fart. However, just as Jinlan finished reprimanding him, he spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his entire body began to sway. "Oh no, the will has broken free from the flying sword and is trying to enter her body." At that moment, the sapling and Red Fiend's anxious words reached Ningyu's mind. Upon hearing that, Ningyu's expression turned ugly. Ningyu knew how terrifying such a will was. Back in Cave 3 Stone, he had relied on the will in the Red Fiend sword to force the three-legged golden crow into retreat. If the will in the silver flying sword entered Jinlan's body and took control of him, he would become a powerful fighting machine. Is there a way to stop it? Ningyu asked in a deep voice. He did not wish for such a terrifying thing to happen. "There's a way, but..." Red Fiend hesitated and did not continue speaking. "Speak," Ningyu said coldly. "You control the will in the Red Fiend sword to enter Jinlan's body and fight against the will in the silver flying sword." Red Fiend gritted his teeth and said, "If you succeed, You will devour the will in the silver flying sword and your strength will skyrocket. If you fail, both you and the will in the red fiend sword will be devoured and dissipate. Swoosh. As he spoke, the will in the silver flying sword suddenly broke free and transformed into a shadow that entered Jinlan's body. Swoosh. At the same time, the will in the red fiend sword left the sword and chased after Jinlan. Guard me. Chapter 1320. Two Wills Guard. Seeing Ningyu's soul force entering Jinlan's body, Hongmo roared and controlled the red demonic sword to hover before Ningyu, guarding for Ningyu. The confrontation between the two wills was no small matter. Under this situation, they couldn't be disturbed in the slightest. Otherwise, all their efforts would go to waste. The slightest carelessness would result in their bodies shattering. It's a pity that the will in the silver flying sword has benefited Ningyu. The sapling was a little speechless. He and Hongmo had fought the silver flying sword for so long, but in the end, the will in the flying sword had left the flying sword and entered Jinlan's body. Actually, it wasn't that the sapling couldn't enter Jinlan's body, but he didn't dare to. Due to the powerful fighting strength of the sapling, there was a high chance that it would trigger the will's resistance if it entered Jinlan's body. The resistance left behind by the ancient powerhouse was undoubtedly something that could even cause Jinlan's body to explode. Let me quickly refine that thing. Since there wasn't any benefit here, the sapling turned into an afterimage and returned to his spatial ring. In an instant, the entire place turned silent. Ningyu and Jinlan stood there like two wooden pillars without any reaction. Even their auras were gradually dissipating. Hongmo controlled the red demonic sword to hover above Ningyu's head, intimidating the enemies in the surroundings. As for the scarred wolf, he tidied his clothes and nodded his head towards the other wolves outside the bamboo forest to get them to help him break the restriction. Rustle. There was a total of 3 6th-grade Earth Sovereigns and a 1st-grade Earth Sovereign outside the bamboo forest. With the Azure Wolf King taking the lead and the 3 6th-grade Earth Sovereign realm bloodthirsty wild wolves assisting, they swiftly broke through the restrictions of the bamboo forest. Huff! The scarred wolf let out a long breath when the restriction was broken. Truth be told, the scarred wolf was even trembling when the two wills clashed, fearing that he would be affected. After all, the greenweed poison in his body had yet to be resolved, so he couldn't bring out the strength of a 6th-grade Earth Sovereign. Buzz! At the same time, in Jinlan's sea of consciousness, Ningyu and Jinlan turned into two small golden figures, one on the left and one on the right. In front of them, two wills, one red and one white, were fighting. It was clear that the white will was the will of the silvery white flying sword, while the red was the will of the red demon sword. In the confrontation between these two wills, no one could do anything to the other, and neither had the upper hand. Ningyu, I will kill you. Jinlan's expression was extremely dark as he stared at Ningyu, ready to strike at any moment. In Jinlan's opinion, the reason why the white will had left the silver flying sword was because of Ningyu. As long as she could kill Ningyu, not only would she be able to stop the battle between the two wills, but she would also have the opportunity to control the red will. Jinlan did not want to miss out on such a good opportunity. Whoosh! Jinlan was not an indecisive person. When she said she would attack, she immediately let go of everything else and charged forward, throwing a punch at Ningyu's head. This area was Jinlan's sea of consciousness, so she could unleash 120% of her combat power here. Her fist, which contained a terrifying aura, instantly arrived in front of Ningyu's head and slammed down hard. Block. Naturally, Ningyu would not just sit and wait for death. He also threw a punch, and it collided with Jinlan's fist. Bang! When the two fists collided, Jinlan was immediately pushed back to the edge of her sea of consciousness. How can you be so strong? Jinlan's expression changed. She did not expect Ningyu to be so strong. One had to know that she was an early-stage 7th-grade human supreme. Her cultivation level was much higher than Ningyu's. In terms of soul energy, she was on par with Ningyu. They were both late-stage 8th grade. No matter how one looked at it, she was not weaker than Ningyu. Why did Ningyu have the upper hand in that exchange just now? It's SOSO. Ningyu did not want to get entangled with Jinlan. His main task was to cooperate with the will in the red demon sword and subdue the white will, or even devour it. Swoosh. So after answering Jin Lan, Ningyu leaped and arrived in front of the red will. The red will understood and suddenly burrowed into Ningyu's body, merging with Ningyu. Rumble. Ningyu felt his body tremble. He was very familiar with this feeling. It was similar to when he was in the three-stone cave. Me. Let's merge too. Jin Lan snorted coldly and instantly merged with the white will. Ningyu and the red will joined forces, while Jin Lan and the white will joined forces. They fought in Jin Lan's sea of consciousness. At first, the two sides of the battle were still Ningyu and Jin Lan. The two bodies were controlled by them. In the end, Ningyu and Jin Lan's consciousness gradually became blurry. The two wills each took control of the main body. The battle became more and more terrifying. On several occasions, Jin Lan's sea of consciousness was almost destroyed. Fortunately, the red will helped. Otherwise, Jin Lan would have been long gone. Hehe, I didn't expect your will to still be around. After exchanging a few more blows, the white will retreated and said sinisterly. If you haven't dissipated, how can I dissipate? The red will said in a deep voice. You'll dissipate sooner or later anyway. Why don't we make a deal? The white will said. There's no deal to make. You're all invaders after all. You're destined to be obliterated. The red will refused flatly and said coldly. You want to obliterate me? That depends on whether you have the ability to do so, the white will said sinisterly. Since it was controlling Jin Lan, its tone was rather feminine. Since I've run into you, you can stay here forever. The red will seemed very determined. It suddenly broke free from Ningyu's body, turned into a shadow, and charged at the white will. The white will also left Jin Lan's body and collided with the red will. As soon as they collided, the white will realized that something was wrong. Lunatic, you're a lunatic. The white will roared like a madman. It wanted to break free, but the red will began to burn and cast a secret technique to tie itself to the white will, preventing it from escaping. Ningyu, I'll give you a great opportunity. After Ningyu regained consciousness, the red will controlled the white will and entered Ningyu's body. Hurry up. Hearing that, Ningyu knew what to do. He instantly left Jin Lan's mind and the soul force returned to his body. So fast. Seeing Ningyu leave Jin Lan's mind, the Red Fiend was a little surprised. The Red Fiend had some understanding of the clash between two powerful wills. It did not make sense for the two wills to clash so quickly. However, since Ningyu did not say anything, the Red Fiend did not ask. He could only continue to stand guard for Ningyu. What's going on? Outside the bamboo forest, the scarred berserk wolf was puzzled. As a 6th grade Earth Supreme, although the scarred berserk wolf was poisoned, he could still sense that Ningyu's soul force had returned to his body. Chapter 1321. Increase in strength should we completely seal off the bamboo forest. The Green Wolf King had always held a grudge against Ningyu and wanted Ningyu dead. After all, in the Green Wolf King's opinion, he was the one who brought Ningyu here. If it wasn't for Ningyu, Jin Yemeng wouldn't have died, and the bloodthirsty wolves wouldn't be in danger. Offending the ruler of the Chenya Empire was even scarier than offending the palace masters of Emperor Palace and Hundred Flower Palace. The ruler of the Chenya Empire had unfathomable strength. Nonsense. The scarred bloodthirsty Wolf King said coldly, whether we can get rid of the poison in our bodies depends entirely on Ningyu. If we anger him, will you help us get rid of the poison? The Green Wolf King was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Don't bring this up again. Otherwise, don't blame us for being hostile. Apart from the scarred bloodthirsty Wolf King, the other 3 bloodthirsty wolves also scolded. Got it. The Green Wolf King lowered his head. However, there was a hint of viciousness in the Green Wolf King's eyes. The viciousness was well hidden by the Green Wolf King, so no one noticed it. At the same time, in the bamboo forest, Ningyu's sea of consciousness rumbled as various fragments appeared in his mind. The first scene was a man holding the red demon sword, guarding the sky above a huge city. In the second scene, an unparalleled expert wielding a demonic sword slashed at a towering tree, directly splitting it into two. The third scene was a chaotic battle. Countless powerhouses fought, and the scene became chaotic. The fourth scene. Crack. At this point, the scene broke, and Ningyu suddenly opened his eyes. Buzz. As soon as Ningyu opened his eyes, his aura shot into the sky. A late-stage 6th grade human supreme, a peak 6th grade human supreme. After devouring and refining the two wills, Ningyu felt unprecedentedly powerful. The essence in his body was vigorous and his body was filled with power. His cultivation had also advanced from the mid-6th grade human sovereign to the peak 6th grade human sovereign. Hee, you're awake. Suddenly, Ningyu noticed that someone was looking at him. Needless to say, it was definitely Jin Lan. Jin Lan's eyes were filled with viciousness. If looks could kill, Jin Lan would have probably cut Ningyu into pieces long ago. I'll kill you. Jin Lan charged out and threw a punch at Ningyu's head. Pa. Ningyu stood where he was and raised his right hand. He opened his fist into a palm and grabbed Jin Lan's fist, preventing her from moving forward. Let me go. Jin Lan berated. Ningyu shrugged, and then his eyes became extremely cold. He said in a low voice, if you don't want to die, I can fulfill your wish. As he spoke, Ningyu unleashed all of his aura and pressed down on Jin Lan. Crack, crack. Under the pressure of Ningyu's aura, Jin Lan's knees made cracking sounds. She was about to kneel down. His strength has actually increased again. Jin Lan's face was filled with disbelief. Although Ningyu was strong in her sea of consciousness, there was a huge difference compared to now. If the previous Ningyu fought with the current Ningyu, he would lose miserably. Forget it. I won't lower myself to your level. It was only when Jin Lan could no longer hold on that Ningyu retracted his aura. He waved at the scarred wolf outside the bamboo forest and said, open the bamboo forest. I'm leaving. No problem. The scarred wolf did not dare to delay. It immediately broke the bamboo forest's restriction and let Ningyu out. As for Jin Lan, after struggling for a while, she followed behind Ningyu and walked out. After the battle with Ningyu, Jin Lan had lost her trump card. Her current strength was limited. Even if she encountered a first-grade Earth Supreme or a half-step Earth Supreme, she would not be able to resist. Little friend, when will you help us resolve the viburnum poison? Outside the bamboo forest, the scarred wolf hesitated for a moment before asking the question in his heart. Don't worry, there are still 3 days. Ningyu would not resolve the viburnum poison for them so quickly. These were all 6th grade Earth Supreme bloodthirsty wolves. If any of them recovered their strength, they would be terrifying existences. With Ningyu's current state, not to mention a 6th grade Earth Sovereign Realm bloodthirsty wild wolf, he wouldn't even be able to defeat a 1st grade Earth Sovereign Realm Green Wolf King. The scarred wolf's expression became a little ugly. He knew very well that Ningyu was doing this to extort them. Little friend, we've given you all the treasures of our bloodthirsty wolf clan. There are no more amazing treasures, the scarred wolf continued. Don't worry. Jin Yemeng was killed here. I believe the Chenya Empire will soon send people over. Maybe they're already here. Ningyu waved his hand and said, based on your estimation, what kind of experts will the Chenya Empire send over? It's hard to say. The scarred wolf shook his head and said, but I know that Jin Yemeng is the emperor's youngest daughter, and also the daughter he dotes on the most. Ningyu was silent. If that was the case, the situation was probably more dangerous. It was obviously not realistic to make the entire bloodthirsty wolf clan forget their memories. How troublesome. Ningyu took a deep breath and said to the scarred wolf, do you have any good ideas that can solve this problem once and for all? Frame them. The scarred wolf had lived for so many years, so he was naturally very astute. If this matter couldn't be solved properly, their bloodthirsty wolf clan would also be affected. The emperor of the Chenya Empire could do something like exterminating a clan. Are there any other forces in the Void Realm that have enmity with the Chenya Empire? Ningyu asked. There's a power that has enmity with the Thousand Leaf Empire, but... When he spoke up to this point, the scarred wolf paused for a moment before he continued, that power is extremely formidable, and even the Thousand Leaf Empire doesn't dare to rashly offend it. Get to the point, Ningyu said solemnly. Dan Lin. The scarred wolf took a deep breath and said, that force is the Dan Lin. It's said that there is a high-rank Earth Supreme Dan Lin inside. It's extremely terrifying. Dan Lin. Ningyu automatically ignored the latter half of the scarred wolf's words. The strength of the Dan Lin didn't have much to do with him. In any case, the enmity between him and the Dan Lin couldn't be resolved. Rather than that, it was better to set off early, capture a Dan Lin, and have it kill Jin Yemeng. Let's go. Take me to Dan Lin's territory. Ningyu didn't want to stay here. He stomped on the ground, wanting to leave. Absolutely not. Those Dan Lin are extremely powerful. If we go now, we'll be courting death. The scarred wolf revealed a difficult expression. If you can help us get rid of the poison in our bodies, we can go with you to Dan Lin's territory. All right. Prepare a quiet place. I'll help you get rid of the poison in your bodies. After a moment of silence, Ningyu said, 3-leaf flower, vine root, cowhorn hide. Several medicinal ingredients came out of Ningyu's mouth. Chapter 1322. Chapter 1322. Chapter 1322. When the plan is out, the dagger is revealed. Green Wolf King, go find these herbs. I'll give you 20 minutes. Scarface said in a deep voice. The mission of searching for medicinal ingredients was extremely important. It was related to whether or not they could smoothly resolve the green vine poison in their bodies, so they couldn't be careless. No problem. The Green Wolf King nodded before turning around to leave. Wait. Ningyu waved his hand and said, let him stay, I can use him. You should go find those herbs. Then, Ningyu pointed at a ferocious bloodthirsty berserk wolf beside the scarred berserk wolf. All right. Although puzzled, the ferocious bloodthirsty berserk wolf did not stay idle. He moved his feet and immediately left the area. Damn it. A hint of coldness flashed across the Green Wolf King's face, but he concealed it very well. You, come here. Ningyu was naturally aware of the Green Wolf King's little tricks. If it weren't for the fact that the Green Wolf King still had some use, Ningyu would have long since gotten rid of it. There was no way he would have let it live until now. When dealing with enemies, one had to forcefully suppress and kill them so that they wouldn't have any room to resist. What is it? The Green Wolf King suppressed the killing intent in its heart and came before Ningyu. Adjust your mental state to the best. I can use you at any time. After leaving behind these words, Ningyu went to another place, sat down cross-legged, and closed his eyes to rest. The Green Wolf King's face turned ashen. Ningyu was clearly doing this to take revenge on him. This made him want to kill Ningyu even more. Ningyu couldn't care less about what the Green Wolf King was thinking. Right now, he was focused on recovering and adjusting his mental state to its peak. Sure. In the blink of an eye, 20 minutes had passed. The ferocious bloodthirsty berserk wolf tore through space and appeared in this area. In its hand was a bag of holding. Whoosh. Throwing the storage bag to Ningyu, the bloodthirsty mad wolf said, there are 4 sets of herbs inside. All right, Green Wolf King, I'll give you these medicinal ingredients. Refine them in the shortest time possible. Remember, there can't be any impurities. After receiving the storage pouch, Ningyu picked out a few precious herbs and tossed them to the Green Wolf King. If you dare to be careless and make a mistake, don't blame me. The Green Wolf King gritted its teeth in anger, but there was nothing it could do. In the bloodthirsty wolf clan, he had accidentally eaten a special fruit, causing his soul power to not be weak. Although he was far from being comparable to Ningyu, he was still capable of refining medicinal herbs. You better not fall into my hands later. The Azure Wolf King divided the medicinal ingredients in the storage pouch into 4 equal portions and suspended them above its head before beginning to refine them. Buzz. The Green Wolf King was quite powerful. In just 5 minutes, it had completely refined one of the ingredients without any impurities. Let's begin. Let's start with you. Ningyu received a portion of the pure medicinal liquid, and with a flicker of his body, he appeared behind the ferocious bloodthirsty mad wolf. Sit down, Ningyu shouted in a low voice. The ferocious mad wolf king did not dare to delay and immediately sat down. Ningyu's hands formed a series of hand seals before he suddenly slapped the ferocious mad wolf's back. Poochie. This slap from Ningyu was very powerful, and even contained a terrifying fluctuation of yuan qi. The ferocious mad wolf king was caught off guard and directly vomited a mouthful of blood. However, the color of the blood was not red, but black. You dare injure me? Although the green wolf king was refining the medicinal ingredients, his gaze was fixed on Ningyu. When he saw the ferocious mad wolf king vomit blood, he immediately gave up on refining the medicinal ingredients and attacked Ningyu. Impudent! Before Ningyu could make a move, the ferocious mad wolf king roared, "Stop! Do you want to die?" The ferocious mad wolf king was infuriated. He had indeed vomited blood, but the blood he vomited was black in color. In other words, his injuries were improving, and the viridian poison in his body was being forced out. If he was disturbed at this time and Ningyu flew into a rage, wouldn't he be finished? Aye. The Green Wolf King was instantly speechless after being berated by the ferocious Mad Wolf King. He did want to teach Ningyu a lesson, but he did not dare to kill Ningyu for the time being. What me? Hurry up and refine the medicinal ingredients. Ningyu definitely had a temper. He said coldly, "I need a second batch of refined medicinal liquid in 5 minutes. After saying this, Ningyu's right hand slapped the ferocious Mad Wolf King's back again and forcefully injected the refined medicinal liquid into the ferocious Mad Wolf King's body. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. The ferocious Mad Wolf King only felt a sharp pain in his heart before vomiting several mouthfuls of black blood. After the 3-minute buffer period, the ferocious Mad Wolf King let out a long breath, and his face revealed a joyful expression. He could feel that all the viridian poison in his body had been completely expelled. The current him was filled with energy, and could unleash the combat strength of a peak 6th grade sovereign. Next, Ningyu did not care about what level of combat strength the ferocious Mad Wolf King had right now. He immediately started to help the scarred ferocious wolf neutralize the viridian poison. Because the viridian poison in the ferocious Mad Wolf King's body had been neutralized, the current Green Wolf King did not dare to be the slightest bit slow. He hurriedly threw the second batch of medicinal liquid to Ningyu. Pa. Grabbing the second batch of medicinal liquid, Ningyu sat cross-legged behind the scarred ferocious wolf, formed a seal with his right hand, and suddenly slapped out. Poochie. The scarred ferocious wolf vomited several mouthfuls of blood with the same action, and its aura rapidly strengthened. A few minutes later, the scarred ferocious wolf also recovered to its peak state, and the viridian poison in its body was completely neutralized. Following that, the third and fourth bloodthirsty Mad Wolf King were treated equally by Ningyu, helping them with all his strength. From start to finish, roughly an hour had passed. Whoosh! When Ningyu slowly let out a turbid breath, the 4 Earth Supreme level bloodthirsty Mad Wolves all recovered to their peak state. Boom! 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 At this moment, the auras of the 4 bloodthirsty Mad Wolves soared into the sky, extremely shocking. Ningyu crossed his arms in front of his chest, not the slightest bit affected by the 4 terrifying auras. For a moment, the scene became strange. I feel that we should reconcile with the Qianye Empire. Before long, the Green Wolf King took a step forward and said in a low voice, "We didn't kill Golden Leaf Dream. It's a little unreasonable for us to take the blame like this." Ningyu did not speak, nor did he make any response. Ancestors, I believe you are very clear about the strength of the Qianye Empire. If we become enemies with the Qianye Empire, we will definitely be annihilated by them. In order to convince the scarred ferocious wolf and the others, the Green Wolf King continued. Right now, we can only bury the hatchet with the Qianye Empire. Otherwise, our bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan will be finished. Cough, cough. At this moment, a thinner and smaller bloodthirsty Mad Wolf coughed twice and said, "I agree with the Green Wolf King. The bloodthirsty Mad Wolf clan cannot be annihilated because of us." Chapter 1323. Resist. The skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf's words had already revealed Sima Zhao's intentions. However, Ningyu still looked calm and did not respond at all. Do it. The skinny bloodlust Mad Wolf roared at the Green Wolf King. Whoosh! The Green Wolf King understood and charged at Ningyu at an astonishing speed. Ningyu, I've always found you an eyesore. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll send you to hell today. The enraged Green Wolf King unleashed all of its aura toward Ningyu. The Green Wolf King didn't hold back in this attack. It was at an unprecedented peak. Is this what you want? Ningyu didn't look at the Green Wolf King. Instead, he looked at the scarred and ferocious wolves. The scarred and ferocious wolves opened their mouths as if they wanted to say something. However, they swallowed their words when they saw the determination in the other two wolves' eyes. All right, I understand. Ningyu nodded. What do you know? You won't be able to escape today. Right at this moment, the Azure Wolf King had already arrived beside Ningyu. Its huge front paw viciously swiped at Ningyu. Crack crack. The wolf's claws whistled through the air, shattering the space around them. All sorts of spatial fragments flew everywhere in the area. Why should I run? The corner of Ningyu's lips curled up as he smiled at the Green Wolf King. I wanted to keep you as my mount, but since you want to die so badly, I have no choice but to fulfill your wish. Ah, kill. The Green Wolf King was enraged as its front paw descended. In the blink of an eye, it was only a finger away from Ningyu's head. Whoosh! A dark green branch suddenly shot out from the storage ring. The branch was extremely fast as it wrapped itself around the Green Wolf King's front paw. Crack! The Green Wolf King's front paw was torn off. Ah! A blood-curdling scream rang out from the Green Wolf King's mouth. I gave you face, but you don't want it. You're courting death. Ningyu took a step forward and slashed down with the red demon sword in his hand. Hua! A massive sword projection detached itself from the red demon sword and slashed at the Green Wolf King's neck. After reaching the pinnacle's 6th grade sovereign realm, Ningyu's fighting prowess had improved greatly. Although he still couldn't contend against a Grade 1 Earth sovereign, Ningyu could still bully an injured Grade 1 Earth sovereign like the Green Wolf King. Save me, ancestor. The Azure Wolf King let out a hysterical howl just as it was about to be struck by the sword projection. Brat, you're courting death. The skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf made his move. In an instant, he dashed out and transformed into his human form. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched at the sword ray in midair. Rumble. This punch from the skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf was extremely powerful, directly splitting the sword light in half. Patriarch, kill him. The Green Wolf King continued to howl. In fact, the Green Wolf King had already been injured by the sapling back in the hall, so he knew that he wasn't a match for Ningyu. The reason why he attacked was because the skinny Berserk Wolf King wanted him to test Ningyu's strength. The Green Wolf King's original intention was to launch a sneak attack on Ningyu, not to fight Ningyu head-on. It's fine. The skinny Berserk Wolf King waved his hand confidently and said, Brat, if I'm not wrong, the branch in your storage ring is at most equivalent to a Grade 2 Earth Sovereign. I'm a Grade 6 Earth Sovereign, so how are you going to fight me? Is that so? Ningyu maintained his composure and said, You're old, your eyes are blurry, and your senses are weak. You're not fit to live in this world anymore. Thump. For some reason, the scarred Berserk Wolf King and the ferocious Berserk Wolf King felt their hearts skip a beat when they heard Ningyu's words. However, since the skinny Berserk Wolf King had the upper hand, they couldn't say anything and could only remain silent. Ha ha ha. The skinny Berserk Wolf King raised his head and laughed, then said coldly, I'll show you if I'm old or not. With that, the aura of the skinny Berserk Wolf King soared into the sky and pressed down on Ningyu. The skinny Berserk Wolf King's intention was clear. He wanted to crush Ningyu with his aura so that he wouldn't hurt the branch in his storage ring. The skinny Berserk Wolf King was very interested in the branch and wanted to study it. Poochie. All of a sudden, the skinny Berserk Wolf King's eyes were filled with fear. He felt a sweetness in his throat and spat out a mouthful of blood. Swish. This change caused everyone, including the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, to reveal an expression of shock. Sigh, you didn't believe me when I told you that you're old. You're indeed old. There's no longer a stage for you in this world. Ningyu sighed softly. An old berserk wolf like you should find a place to retire. Don't come out and embarrass yourself. Poochie. The skinny berserk wolf king spat out another mouthful of blood when he heard Ningyu's words. At the same time, he roared, "I'll tear you apart." As he spoke, the skinny berserk wolf king pointed at the air and slapped Ningyu with his hand. "I'll help you." As soon as the skinny berserk wolf king charged out, another berserk wolf with bigger eyes also moved quickly and followed closely behind. "You're courting death." Ningyu's eyes flashed with a bright light. At that moment, Ningyu was completely enraged. He had already given the skinny berserk wolf a chance, but it did not know how to cherish it. Since that was the case, he could only send them on their way. Waving his hands repeatedly, Ningyu bellowed, "Break! Crack! Crack!" As Ningyu's words rang out, the expressions of the skinny berserk wolf king and the big-eyed berserk wolf king changed drastically as they stopped in midair. "Oh no, the seal is about to break." The skinny berserk wolf king turned pale with fright and fear. How did it break? Did the Thousand Leaf Empire's experts appear nearby and discover that Jinya Meng died here? The big-eyed berserk wolf king unleashed his perception, wanting to probe the surroundings. Crack, 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 crack. No one responded to them. The only thing that answered them was the continuous cracking sounds coming from their bodies. The scarred berserk wolf king and the ferocious berserk wolf king had ugly expressions on their faces. At the same time, they felt their hearts palpitate. Up until now, they were basically certain that Ningyu had done something to their bodies to control the seal. Originally, they thought that they could do whatever they wanted and control Ningyu's life after the poison in their bodies was neutralized. Who would have thought that Ningyu had already prepared a backup plan? Ningyu, I wonder if, seeing the dissatisfaction on the faces of the skinny berserk wolf king and the big-eyed berserk wolf king, the scarred berserk wolf king gritted his teeth and turned to Ningyu for help. "There's no need to say anything more." Ningyu waved his hand and said in a deep voice, "I've made up my mind." Hearing that, the scarred berserk wolf king had a bitter expression. Everything was the skinny berserk wolf king and the big-eyed berserk wolf king's fault, which was why they ended up like this. Chapter 13:24. Again. Ah. In the air, the skinny bloodthirsty mad wolf and the big-eyed bloodthirsty mad wolf let out hysterical cries. Even their bodies were beginning to rot. Starting from their calves, then their waists, and finally their upper bodies. Soon, the skinny bloodthirsty mad wolf and the big-eyed bloodthirsty mad wolf were left with only their heads. The cultivator who left the seal in your bodies was at least an Earth Supreme. Ningyu frowned slightly as he looked at the miserable state of the bloodthirsty wolf and the others. Ever since Ningyu cured the wolves of the virus poison for the first time, he knew that there was a powerful seal in their bodies. Ningyu had guessed that once the seal broke, the scar-faced wolves would be annihilated. But he didn't expect it to be so terrifying. Even a 6th-grade Earth Supreme Realm bloodthirsty wolf was corroded, leaving only its head behind. If not for the fact that the skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf and the others had summoned their primordial spirits to protect their heads, they would have been long dead. "Ningyu, can you spare them?" The scar-faced wolf gritted his teeth and begged Ningyu for help, hoping that Ningyu would show them mercy. Ningyu shook his head. "The seal in your bodies is beyond my imagination. Even if I use my full strength, I won't be able to cure them." The scar-faced wolf fell silent and even showed a look of despair. "I'm curious. Didn't they say that Earth Supremes couldn't enter the empty secret realm? Why is there a seal left behind by an Earth Sovereign in your bodies?" Ningyu asked in puzzlement. A few decades ago, a high-level Earth Supreme came to the Chenya Empire. He took out 4 red fruits and forced us to swallow them. Sighing softly, the scarred bloodthirsty wild wolf explained, "After we swallowed the red fruit, we felt a change in our bodies. It was as if an invisible seal had appeared." Rumble. Just at this moment, the skinny bloodthirsty berserk wolf and the big-eyed bloodthirsty berserk wolf in midair exploded, their heads turning into a bloody mist. Go. The Green Wolf King had been paying attention to the changes happening to the skinny bloodthirsty mad wolf and the others. When he saw the skinny bloodthirsty mad wolf disintegrate into nothingness, he was shocked and hurriedly tore through the void, fleeing into the distance. If he didn't leave now, he would definitely be suppressed and killed by Ningyu later. Shio. However, the Azure Wolf King had only fled for a short while before a branch shot out from the storage ring and disappeared into the void. Ah! A blood-curdling scream like a pig being slaughtered came from the void. Bang! Then, a figure fell from the sky and landed heavily on the ground, no longer breathing. The sapling's strength has really increased to the pinnacle second-grade Earth Sovereign realm. Ningyu muttered. Ever since the sapling entered the empty secret realm, it had been clamoring to come here to look for treasures. All the treasures taken out by the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf were devoured by the sapling. After devouring the treasures of the bloodthirsty mad wolf clan, the sapling finally reached the pinnacle second-grade Earth Sovereign realm after a period of refinement. Ningyu, I might need to sleep for a while to digest the energy in my body. Don't disturb me unless there's something important. The sapling's voice resounded in Ningyu's mind. Then, the sapling fell into a deep slumber. Coming back to his senses, Ningyu said to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, "Let's go. Bring Golden Leaf Dream to Danzhong's lair." Although the sapling had fallen into a deep slumber, Ningyu was not afraid. After all, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious mad wolf were both 6th-grade Earth Sovereigns. With the two of them by his side, there shouldn't be much danger. Ningyu, I wonder about the seal in our bodies. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf did not move immediately. Instead, he said hesitantly, "Can you think of a way to break it?" Ningyu stopped in his tracks and stared at the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf with interest. "You want me to break the seal for you before you attack me? I wouldn't dare." The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf felt as if he had fallen into an ice cave after being stared at by Ningyu. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf had seen the miserable state of the skinny wolf and the big-eyed wolf. He did not want to experience that. If he angered Ningyu, he would not be able to bear the consequences. "I just want to ask, can the Thousand-Leaf Empire also control the seal in our bodies?" The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf asked cautiously. "Don't worry. I've already added a second seal to the seal in your bodies. Unless they find you and break the seal, they won't be able to restrain you." Ningyu waved his hand, then his figure flickered and tore through the void, flying towards the outside world. At the same time, Ningyu's voice sounded in the area. "Bring Jin Yemeng, and Jin Lan as well." As soon as he finished speaking, Ningyu vanished completely. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious mad wolf did not dare to be negligent. One of them brought Jin Lan and the other Jin Yemeng as they followed closely behind Ningyu. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 3 figures moved quickly in the empty mystic realm. Upon closer inspection, the 3 figures were none other than Ningyu, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, and the ferocious mad wolf. Among them, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious mad wolf were holding Jin Yemeng and Jin Lan respectively. Dan Ping's lair is called Celestial Elixir Ridge. It's 3 hours away from here. Along the way, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf explained, "When the time comes, we can only stay in the periphery of Celestial Elixir Ridge. It's best if we don't enter the inner regions." Evidently, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was wary of Celestial Elixir Ridge. Even with his cultivation as a grade 6 Earth Sovereign, he did not dare to set foot there. That showed how dangerous Celestial Elixir Ridge was. "I know what I'm doing." Ningyu waved his hand and said casually, "Don't underestimate Celestial Elixir Ridge. It's said that there are heavenly sovereigns there." Seeing Ningyu's expression, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf decided to warn Ningyu and tell Ningyu a secret. Swish. As expected, Ningyu's expression slightly changed when he heard the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's words. With their strength, they could only fight against a grade 6 Earth Sovereign at best. If they encountered a heavenly sovereign, only death awaited them. Let's get there first. Since he had decided to go to Celestial Elixir Ridge, Ningyu naturally would not back down. He wrapped his Yuan Qi around his ankles and immediately increased his speed. Although they were wary of Celestial Elixir Ridge, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious mad wolf could only follow behind Ningyu since Ningyu had already gone there. Whoosh. However, Ningyu and the others had only traveled for an hour when they encountered a huge problem. The void in front of them suddenly cracked and a few figures appeared in front of Ningyu and the others. People from the Qianye Empire. Seeing the sudden appearance of these cultivators, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's heart sank and his face turned pale. Chapter 1325. Chapter 1325. Chapter 1325. Crisis. 5th grade Earth sovereigns weren't much. After all, both the scarred and ferocious bloodthirsty wolves were 6th grade Earth sovereigns with extremely powerful strength. It wouldn't be difficult for them to deal with these 5th grade Earth sovereigns. On the other hand, a 7th grade Earth sovereign was a huge problem. In Ningyu's view, even if the scarred bloodthirsty wolf and the ferocious bloodthirsty wolf joined forces, they still wouldn't be a match for a 7th grade Earth sovereign. I didn't expect it to be you guys. The 7th grade Earth sovereign of the Thousand Leaves Empire coldly stared at the scarred wolves and hollered, "Abandoned clans, looks like you're tired of living. Not good." Hearing the reprimand of the 7th grade Earth sovereign, before the scarred wolf could react, Ningyu's heart trembled. Evidently, this 7th grade Earth sovereign of the Qianye Empire was activating the seal within the scarred wolf's body. In an instant, Ningyu thought of many things, and his face was extremely gloomy. If it wasn't for the suppression of his own seal, the scarred bloodthirsty berserk wolf would have been in a miserable state by now. Scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf, his activating the seal in your body, hurry up and respond. Suddenly, Ningyu's gloomy face became a little excited. Perhaps this was the best opportunity to kill a 7th grade Earth sovereign. Respond. Ah. The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf was no fool. It only took a moment to understand Ningyu's meaning. All sorts of screams came from the scarred wolves' mouths. In fact, the scarred ankle of the bloodthirsty mad wolf had even begun to rot. Seeing the scarred wolf's actions, Ningyu's mouth twitched a few times. How terrifying. Because Ningyu had left a seal in the scarred berserk wolf's body, he could tell that the scarred berserk wolf was only acting and not really in a miserable state. "Jinyi, what do you want?" Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, the scarred berserk wolf berated. "I don't want to do anything. I just want to tell you that you can't provoke the Jin family." The man called Jinyi's lips curled into a smile and he said softly, "Jin Yeming is already dead. I don't want to make things difficult for you. As long as you promise me one thing, I can help you conceal this matter and even frame the Dan Kai clan." The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf felt a chill in his heart. He had a faint feeling that something was wrong. But in order to stall for time, he could only ask calmly, "What is it?" "Haha, it's very simple. Recently, I've been cultivating a special technique and I need the help of some honorable bloodthirsty berserk wolves." Jinyi smiled and said, "No more, no less. I need exactly 100,000. Boom. Jinyi's words caused the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's face to turn extremely ugly. Although the bloodthirsty wolf clan was a large clan in the emptiness realm, losing 100,000 of them in one go was still a huge loss. Moreover, 100,000 supreme being bloodthirsty berserk wolves. Not to mention the bloodthirsty wild wolf clan in the emptiness realm, even the bloodthirsty wild wolf clan outside the emptiness realm didn't have that many supreme being bloodthirsty wild wolf. "Jinyi, are you sure you're not joking?" The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf said in a solemn voice, "If our bloodthirsty wild wolf clan had 100,000 supreme being bloodthirsty wild wolves, we would have conquered the emptiness realm long ago. I'm sorry, I'm not done yet." Shrugging his shoulders, Jinyi continued, "The 100,000 sovereign realm bloodthirsty berserk wolves that I'm talking about is just a general figure. 4 Earth sovereign realm bloodthirsty berserk wolves like you, a single one is equivalent to countless." "What do you mean?" The scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's face changed. "Nothing much, I just want to borrow your hearts." As he spoke, Jinyi stomped on the ground and his figure instantly shot out. Sizzle. Sizzle. Jinyi's speed was terrifyingly fast. In an instant, he arrived beside the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and threw a punch at the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's chest. At that crucial moment, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf raised his right hand and clashed with Jinyi's fist. Due to his massive size, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf had already taken on human form. At this moment, The scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf had taken on the appearance of a middle-aged man. Boom! When the two fists clashed, Jinyi stood on the spot without moving, while the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf retreated. PFFFT. In the end, the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf stopped and spewed a mouthful of blood. Not bad. Everyone says that the bloodthirsty mad wolf can challenge those of higher realms. I never expected that you would be able to withstand 50% of my strength. You're truly not simple. Jinyi was astonished. He never expected the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf to be so powerful. One must know that he had secretly activated the seal to suppress the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf's strength. If he didn't activate the seal, wouldn't the scarred, bloodthirsty mad wolf have a chance to confront him? The old ancestor truly has foresight to seal you survivors, allowing you to remain survivors for generations to come. Shaking his head, Jinyi's eyes flickered. What a pity. All of you are destined to die under my sword today. Buzz buzz. Jinyi flicked his wrist, and a black flying sword appeared in his hand. The black flying sword was extremely terrifying. Vigorous yuan qi vibrated on the blade, and it was about to leave Jinyi's hand. Don't worry. I'll definitely let you have a taste of his heart's blood later. Jinyi caressed the black flying sword, trying his best to calm it down. That flying sword actually has a consciousness in it. Ningyu's heart was in turmoil. From the flying sword in Jinyi's hand, Ningyu discovered some clues. Ningyu, who had discovered the clues, was extremely astonished. The consciousness in the red demon sword had dissipated. If the consciousness in the black flying sword appeared, then he would be in an irreversible situation. Something's not right. Suddenly, Ningyu's expression softened a little. This was because Ningyu discovered that the consciousness in the black flying sword was extremely weak. It needed a large amount of blood to recover completely. I have to stop him. Ningyu's expression darkened. He made up his mind to stop the scarred, frenzied wolf from being devoured no matter what. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire. Scarred, frenzied wolf, how confident are you that you can kill Jinyi with a sneak attack? Ningyu transmitted his voice to the scarred, frenzied wolf. He wanted to understand the difference between them. Jinyi is a rare talent of the Jin family. If I fight him head-on, there's no way I can win. If it's a sneak attack, I have a 10% chance of success, the scarred, frenzied wolf replied. 10%. Ningyu was dumbfounded. Even the scarred, frenzied wolf only had a 10% chance of success in a sneak attack. One could only imagine how powerful Jinyi was. 10% is a conservative estimate. It's the result of me and the ferocious, frenzied wolf attacking together. The scarred, frenzied wolf was worried. He felt that he had encountered something he could not defy. He was even in despair. Let me borrow your heart. At this moment, two beams of cold light shot out from Jinyi's eyes. The cold beams were extremely fast. One flew towards the scarred, frenzied wolf, while the other flew towards the ferocious, frenzied wolf. Buzz buzz buzz. Seeing the two beams of cold light flying out, the black flying sword jumped even more obviously, trying to break free from Jinyi's grasp. Chapter 1326. Attack. I'll take this attack head-on and force Jinyi to fight you guys head-on. Then, I'll make my move. Ningyu knew that at this moment, he had to remain calm and collected. Otherwise, with Jinyi's terrifying strength, he would have been dead for sure today. There would have been no chance of him surviving. No problem. The scarred wolf clenched his teeth. He was going all out just to survive. Roar. The scarred wolf let out a furious roar and revealed his true form. The stronger a bloodthirsty wolf was, the bigger their body would be. The scar-faced bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious bloodthirsty mad wolf were extremely huge. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they covered the sky. Interesting. Jinyi did not forget to observe the scarred wolf while he was suppressing the black flying swords. Especially after seeing the huge size of the scarred wolf, he was a little surprised. Evidently, the scarred berserk wolf was about to break through his limit and reach the 7th grade Earth Sovereign Realm. Luckily, you guys haven't taken that step yet. Otherwise, it would be troublesome. Jinyi rejoiced. Since he needed the scarred wolf's heartblood, he could not fully activate the seal. As long as the seal was activated, the scarred wolf would explode and destroy the heartblood. Bang! Bang! In midair, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and the ferocious bloodthirsty mad wolf clashed head-on with the cold light. The result was out of Ningyu's expectations. The scarred wolf and the ferocious wolf suffered a crushing defeat in the first exchange and were forced to retreat. A decree refined by a Sky Supreme. Ningyu could see some clues from the brief exchange. After all, Ningyu was a Sky Supreme in his previous life. He had a deep understanding of such methods. Once one reached the Sky Supreme level, one could refine a decree and leave one's blood essence on it. The strength of the decree would change according to the amount of blood essence. The more blood essence, the more powerful the decree would be. According to Ningyu's estimation, the two decrees that Jinyi had taken out did not contain a lot of blood essence. Otherwise, the bloodthirsty frenzied wolf and the bloodthirsty frenzied wolf would not have been able to withstand it. The strength of these two decrees is only equivalent to a peak 7th grade human sovereign. Ningyu's eyes turned, and his mind became active. If he could obtain the decree and the blood essence of a heavenly supreme, he might even be able to make a breakthrough and become a 7th grade human sovereign. Scarred bloodthirsty berserk wolf, I'll teach you a chant. Try to subdue those two decrees. Ningyu transmitted his voice to the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf. Whoosh! Hearing this, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's heart shuddered, and waves of shock rose in his heart. What kind of freak was Ningyu? He even wanted to take away the supreme decree. Don't get distracted. According to the formula I taught you, there's a 50% chance of success. Ningyu said in a deep voice. He did not want Scar and Bloodthirsty Wolf to be distracted and suffer heavy injuries. All right. At this point, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and ferocious berserk wolf had no other choice but to believe in Ningyu. Gulp! An obscure chant rang in the minds of the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and ferocious berserk wolf. Retrieve. Suddenly, the scarred bloodthirsty berserk wolf opened its eyes, opened its mouth wide, and actually swallowed a supreme law decree into its mouth. Damn it! Seeing the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's actions, Jinyi's face turned extremely ugly. He immediately gave up on suppressing the black flying sword and formed hand seals with both hands, trying to retrieve the supreme decree. Jinyi knew very well that once the supreme decree came into contact with the seal in the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf's body, a huge battle would definitely break out. At that time, the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf would definitely die. Swallow. Jinyi had only taken a few steps when the ferocious berserk wolf also let out a loud roar, opened its mouth, and swallowed the supreme decree. I'm so angry. Jinyi was so enraged that his nose was crooked. He did not expect the two bloodthirsty mad wolves to be so bold as to swallow the supreme decree. This situation was completely out of his expectations and caught him off guard. All right. Some were sad, some were happy. Ningyu could not help but yell, "Hurry and leave. Leave. Do you think you can leave?" Jinyi's hair danced in the wind. At that moment, he was like a god of war as he punched at the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf. Swoosh. Jinyi's punch was ferocious and domineering, causing the sky to change color. Slash. Ningyu wielded the red fiend sword and slashed out multiple sword gleams. There were many sword gleams, forming a terrifying sword gleam net in front of him. Ningyu knew that Jinyi's main target was not him, but the scarred bloodthirsty mad wolf and ferocious berserk wolf. In Jinyi's eyes, Ningyu was just a small fry that was not worthy of him going all out. Indeed, an unparalleled elite like Jinyi did not need to go all out to kill Ningyu. The aftermath of the attack alone was enough to make Ningyu anxious. Crack, crack, crack. Although the sword gleam net in front of Ningyu was very strong, it was far from being able to block the aftermath of Jinyi's attack. The aftermath tore the sword gleam net apart and instantly arrived in front of Ningyu. Phantom armor. At the critical moment, Ningyu hurriedly took out the phantom armor, wanting to use it to block the aftermath of Jinyi's attack. Crack. The shockwave hit the phantom armor, causing some cracks to appear on it. On the other hand, Ningyu took a few steps back and two long marks appeared on the ground. Fart. Fresh blood spurted out and Ningyu's expression was extremely dark. Rumble. At the same time, in midair, the scarred bloodthirsty Mad Wolf and Jinyi were already engaged in a fierce battle. Ningyu had already told them to go all out and not hold back. Ningyu would definitely ensure the safety of the seal in their bodies. With Ningyu's confirmation, the two bloodthirsty Mad Wolves were enraged and they were evenly matched with Jinyi. You guys want to die, but I don't. Although the two bloodthirsty Mad Wolves were powerful, they were still not Jinyi's opponent. The reason why Jinyi was evenly matched with them was that he did not use his trump cards, nor did he use his strongest move. His strongest move was something that he would definitely not use unless it was a crucial moment. Elder Jin, this is bad. Suddenly, a 5th-grade Earth Sovereign of the Jin clan yelled out. Hearing that voice, Jinyi was startled and immediately turned his head. But this glance had instantly enraged Jinyi. That's because he realized that the black flying sword had suddenly appeared before Ningyu and was confronting Ningyu. What made Jinyi even more enraged was that Ningyu was slowly approaching the black flying sword and stretching his hand out, trying to grab hold of the black flying sword. You dare to touch my flying sword? No matter what, Jinyi would never allow Ningyu to grab that weird flying sword. Back then, when he obtained that flying sword, he knew that he couldn't let anyone come in contact with it before he refined the intent in it. Otherwise, there might be an unpredictable change. Chapter 1327. Chapter 1327, Breakthrough. Ningyu cautiously approached the black flying sword, waiting for an opportunity to grab it with his hand. Ningyu made this move because he sensed that the black flying sword was extraordinary. It was as if the will within the black flying sword and the red demon sword came from the same place, and it was not a fallen existence. As soon as this thought appeared, it lingered in Ningyu's mind, and he could not get rid of it. Screw it. Gritting his teeth, Ningyu suddenly reached out with his right hand and grabbed the hilt of the black flying sword. Ah! As soon as his right hand grabbed the flying sword, Ningyu screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Moreover, Ningyu's right hand underwent a terrifying change. The skin began to rot and fall off. Before long, only a skeleton was left of his right hand. Hiss! Ningyu's transformation caused the nearby Jin clan experts to retreat one after another. They had wanted to work together to snatch the black flying sword, but now, they did not dare to act recklessly. What's going on? Ningyu was extremely calm at this moment, so calm that it was a little scary. Although only a skeleton was left of his right hand, Ningyu was not nervous. Instead, he was extremely calm. Only a rough estimation was left of his right hand, but in Ningyu's mind, there were some scenes. The scenes in Ningyu's mind were similar to the scenes he had sensed from the red demon sword. The only difference was that the person holding the black flying sword was a woman. Dressed in black, holding a black flying sword, fighting in all directions. This scene was so strange that even Ningyu had to deal with it carefully. Fart. Suddenly, Ningyu spat out a mouthful of blood. The black flying sword left his hand and pierced towards his heart. I can't believe it. This change was clearly out of Ningyu's expectation, and he could not help but curse. Ha ha ha. Great. A mere 6th-grade supreme martial artist wants to catch the ancient demon sword. He's asking for death. He, if nothing goes wrong, he will become food for the demon sword. Food? You've underestimated the demon sword. How could the demon sword possibly devour a puny 6th-grade sovereign? If I'm not wrong, the demon sword will definitely forcefully. Whoosh. Before the last cultivator could finish his sentence, he stopped abruptly. Suddenly, the situation changed. The black flying sword did not stab into Ningyu's chest. Instead, when it was a finger's length away from Ningyu's chest, it suddenly stopped. The reason why the black flying sword had stopped was not because of how powerful Ningyu was, but because the red demon sword was placed horizontally across Ningyu's chest, preventing the black flying sword from advancing. It's you. A hoarse voice came from the black flying sword, sounding very desolate. You've fallen. The same voice rang out from within the red demon sword. Yes, I have fallen. The voice within the black flying sword seemed to be reminiscing about something. Ningyu could not interfere with their conversation, nor did he want to. However, the only thing that puzzled Ning-yu was why the red demon sword could still speak. Could it be that the powerful intent within the red demon sword had not dissipated? It's not that intent, it's me. At this moment, the red demon's voice rang out in Ning-yu's mind. The intent within the red demon sword has long dissipated. I'm the one talking to it. Ning-yu's eyes widened in surprise. The red demon was really bold. He actually dared to impersonate the intent within the red demon sword. On second thought, Ning-yu felt relieved. The red demon was the sword spirit born from the red demon sword. He was the most suitable person to impersonate the red demon sword's intent. Is he your successor? He's a little weak. If he doesn't speed up his growth, I reckon, sigh. At this point, the intent within the black flying sword did not continue. Instead, it sighed softly and said, since he's your descendant, I'll fulfill his wish. As it spoke, a black cold luster flew out from the black flying sword. Whoosh! The speed of the cold luster was extremely swift. In the blink of an eye, it had entered Ning-yu's sea of consciousness. Rumble. When the cold luster entered his sea of consciousness, Ning-yu was greatly startled. That's because the energy contained in the cold luster was too robust. It was so robust that even his face had changed. What are you still standing there for? I'll compress your sea of consciousness to make it more secure. A berating voice resounded in Ning-yu's mind. It will all depend on your fortune to break through to the 7th grade Earth Sovereign Realm. Senior. Ning-yu felt bitter. He already knew the intention of this intent. It was to sacrifice itself to fulfill his wish. Most of these intents were remnant wills that couldn't exist in the world for long. The moment these remnant wills dissipated, they would turn into nothingness and fuse with the heavens and earth. Spiritual transformation art. Since it couldn't be reversed, Ning-yu could only sit down and circulate his mental cultivation technique to cultivate. Crack. As time passed, the black flying sword emitted cracking sounds, as if it was about to shatter. My flying sword. When Jinyi saw the changes to the black flying sword, he instantly flew into a rage. He was the one who had obtained the flying sword, so he had some understanding of the intent within it. His original intention was to find the bloodthirsty wild wolf's heartblood to refine his intent and recover it a little. As long as his intent recovered, he would return to the ancestral land and have the experts there set up an array to help him refine the energy. However, he never expected that he would be intercepted by a 6th grade Earth Sovereign, which made him furious. All of you will die today. The enraged Jin-yi had clearly lost all reason. He forcefully threw 2 punches, forcing back the scarred and ferocious wolves. Then, he turned into a blur and charged at Ning-yu. Shit. When the 2 wolves saw Jin-yi charging out, their expressions drastically changed. They immediately increased their speed to the limit and chased after him. Unfortunately, the scarred and ferocious bloodthirsty wolves were half a beat too slow. Before they reached Ning-yu, Jin-yi had already arrived in front of Ning-yu. Die. He threw out a punch that carried an extremely violent yuan qi fluctuation towards Ning-yu's head. Jin-yi was furious. He wanted to smash Ning-yu's brains out. Rumble. At this moment, a huge palm appeared above Ning-yu's head and grabbed at Jin-yi. Damn it. The sudden change was out of Jin-yi's expectation. He cursed inwardly and immediately turned his head to escape. Crack. However, Jin-yi's speed couldn't keep up with the speed of the huge palm. He had only taken a few steps when the huge palm caught up to him. The huge palm suddenly pressed down and grabbed Jin-yi's neck. It lifted Jin-yi like a little chick and threw him before Ning-yu. I've already placed a seal on his body. This is the last thing I can do for you. You'll have to walk your own path in the future. Boom. As the figure landed, Ning-yu suddenly opened his eyes. Then, a terrifying aura rushed out from Ning-yu's head. At this moment, Ning-yu had taken another step forward. Chapter 1328. Primordial Spirit Battle Body Boom. Ning-yu took a step forward. His aura soared into the sky and pressed down on Jin-yi in a frenzy. Fart. Jin-yi had already been sealed by the giant hand, and his aura had dissipated. Now that he was being attacked by Ning-yu's aura, He naturally could not withstand it. Jinyi spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. His face was filled with terror. "Let me go, and I can give you a great opportunity," Jinyi roared, wanting Ningyu to spare his life. What great opportunity? Ningyu did not kill Jinyi right away. Instead, he asked. Phew. Seeing that Ningyu did not kill him right away, Jinyi breathed a sigh of relief and said hurriedly, "As long as you come back to the Qianya Empire with me, I can make you the son-in-law of the Qianya Empire." Ah. Crack. Jinyi let out a scream like a pig being slaughtered before he could finish his sentence. Ningyu lifted his right foot and stomped on Jinyi's knee, crushing it directly. "Get to the point." Ningyu did not want to waste time with Jinyi. He said coldly, "It's useless to talk about this. I promise to send you on your way." Jinyi could not help but shiver when he heard that. In the Jin family of the Qianya Empire, Jinyi was a genius of his generation. He was one of the geniuses with the highest hopes of becoming a sky supreme in the Qianya Empire. Now that he was being stepped on by Ningyu, and even his knee was crushed, he felt that it was unrealistic. There's a treasure land in the Qianya Empire. In a while, all the major forces will gather there. There will be all sorts of geniuses there to fight for the opportunity. Jinyi did not dare to fool Ningyu anymore. His teacher said, "If you pledge your allegiance to the Jin family, we can give you a spot and let you." This time, Ningyu was clearly enraged. Before Jinyi could finish, he lifted his right foot and stomped on Jinyi's head. Cultivation. Right at this moment, something strange happened. Jinyi was a 7th grade Earth Sovereign with a powerful primordial spirit. Although his head was crushed by Ningyu, his primordial spirit still tore through space in an attempt to escape. Where are you going? How could Ningyu give him the chance to escape? Ningyu flicked his sleeve and threw out a flag. 10,000 Ghosts Holy Flag. In the Three-Stone Cave, the holy flag of 10,000 ghosts was almost destroyed. However, Ningyu forcibly stored it into his storage ring and nurtured it using a secret technique to preserve it. The 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag contained the souls and primordial spirits of many martial artists. The more primordial spirits it had, the stronger its combat power would be. Ever since Ningyu's strength increased, the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag could no longer help him. Now that there was a chance to devour Jinyi's primordial spirit, Ningyu would not let it go to waste. Jinyi was a 7th grade Earth Sovereign. Once the myriad Ghost Sacred Flag devoured his primordial spirit, it would undergo a transformation. Ah! No! Jinyi screamed and tried to break free from the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag. However, his primordial spirit was extremely weak and he was being chased by Ningyu. Therefore, it only took a few minutes before he was completely devoured by the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag. Crackle. As expected, Ningyu's guess was right. The 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag had indeed undergone a transformation. Crackling sounds were constantly coming from the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag. The sound was extremely strange and terrifying. How much will the primordial spirit of a 7th grade Earth Sovereign transform it to? Ningyu frowned. His eyes were fixed on the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag. He did not get distracted. The 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag was a terrifying artifact. According to legend, the original form of the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag was a Celestial King Sacred Flag. Although it would take a long time for the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag to transform into a Celestial King Sacred Flag, Ningyu did not dare to let his guard down. Even if it could not transform into a Celestial King Sacred Flag, after today, the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag would become Ningyu's handy weapon. Rumble. As time passed, the sounds coming from the 10,000 Ghost Sacred Flag grew louder. In the end, the primordial spirits and soul forces broke through their limits and charged out. Shit. The change had obviously exceeded Ningyu's expectation. However, just as Ningyu was about to stop them, he came to a stop. The primordial spirits and soul forces in mid-air began to merge together. The merging of thousands of primordial spirits and soul forces was indeed a terrifying scene. This is the primordial spirit battle physique. Staring at the changes in the sky, Ningyu's mouth opened slightly, and an almost undetectable voice came from his mouth, filled with shock. The primordial spirit battle physique was a terrifying existence formed by the merging of primordial spirits and soul forces. In his previous life, as a heavenly supreme, Ningyu had seen one or two primordial spirit battle physiques. Even as a heavenly supreme, he did not dare to get too close to them, fearing that he would be injured by their blood chi. No. It's not the real primordial spirit battle physique, it's the embryonic form. All of a sudden, Ningyu seemed to have discovered something and exclaimed. The primordial spirit battle physique was extremely terrifying. If it really produced a terrifying primordial spirit battle physique, even Ningyu would have to avoid it. Even the weakest primordial spirit battle physique had the strength of an Earth Supreme. The strength of this embryonic primordial spirit battle physique should be at the pinnacle 9th grade human sovereign realm. Staring at the embryonic primordial spirit battle physique, Ningyu frowned and said, if it can merge with a few more primordial spirits, it might evolve to the Earth Supreme realm. Ningyu's gaze moved and slowly swept across the experts of the Jin clan. Whoosh! The experts of the Jin clan avoided the gaze of the Ning clan, not daring to look at them directly. Even someone as powerful as Jin Yi died here and was refined into something that looked like the primordial spirit battle physique, not to mention them. Ningyu's gaze stopped at the face of a 5th grade Earth Sovereign. The 5th grade Earth Sovereign glared at Ningyu and coldly barked, "You're finished. You're doomed to die if you dare to touch the people of the Jin clan." As he spoke, the 5th grade Earth Sovereign took out a talisman and engraved a line of words with his spiritual energy. Thereafter, he tore space apart and was about to send Jin Yi away. "You want to send your heart to me?" Ningyu's face was emotionless as he said, "Because of your foolish action, all the experts of the Jin clan will die today." Ha ha ha. The 5th grade Earth Sovereign raised his head and laughed, "All of them will die. I've already sent the message. I believe that the monarch will be guarding the exit. As long as you dare to leave, you're destined to be captured by the Jin clan. Our Jin clan is..." Puff. While the 5th grade Earth Sovereign was roaring, the scarred berserk wolf tore through space and slapped the 5th grade Earth Sovereign's face with its huge hand. Pa. A bright red palm print, accompanied by a crisp sound, resounded in the area. You. The 5th grade Earth Sovereign looked as if he had seen a ghost. He looked at the scarred wolf and said in fear, "You dare to attack our Jin clan? Kill him." You didn't want to talk nonsense with this fellow. The scarred wolf was a 6th grade Earth Sovereign. It was a piece of cake for him to deal with a puny 5th grade Earth Sovereign. Crack. The scarred wolf slightly exerted force and broke the 5th grade Earth Sovereign's head. Whoosh. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.